Hello, everyone. Getting ready to do my Sunday live. Just waiting for everybody to join in.
Girl, you got me thirsty for another cup of
Waiting for everybody to join in.
Got a bug from you, girl, but I don't.
And we got a lot of things to talk about. Yeah, I like to open up with a good song here and there. Yeah. Hello. Let's see. What do we have here? Everyone's coming on. Yeah, Kathy, I like this song. I picked it. It's on my playlist. So, I've always talked about my eclectic taste in music, and that's what this is.
I'm high on believing
Just waiting for everybody to come on.
you're in love with me. All the good love when we're all alone. Keep it up, girl. Yeah, you turn me on. I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. I'm hooked on a feeling, and I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. I said I'm hooked on a feeling, and I'm high on believing that you're in love with me.
It's funny. One of the very first jobs I ever had is I worked at a radio station, a local radio station. I worked at it was WHJJ, WHJY, if anyone's ever heard of it. WHJJ's talk station, WHJY is a rock and roll station. So I was a producer. And what happened was I would... as a producer, your job was to put together music for the opening of the programs, closing of the programs, that type of thing. So that's why I used to pick out music for those shows. And there was a talk show host there that used to really play some really good music as his intros and his outros and stuff like that. So I always thought that was kind of cool because then, people just now notice that song, say, hey, I really like that song. So it kind of just a nice thing to, open up the mood and start the mood, Hey, Dover, New Hampshire, how you doing? Everyone's joining in. So it's funny, I did a couple of TikToks this morning. I was talking about, banks. And it all started because because TD Bank shut my Zelle off on me from me collecting rent through Zelle. And TD Bank, as far as I'm concerned, they made a big no-no. They went and blamed Zelle when it wasn't Zelle to begin with at all. And to me, that was not right that they did that, So I'm having an issue tonight with my glasses. And so I'm in my summer studio. So if everyone remembers last year, I set up upstairs in my house in my Four Seasons room. And it was just kind of nice because in the summer, I can actually open doors and move my desk outside. But I'm having an issue with this stupid ring light, which I didn't have last year. I use a different type of light. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to change my lighting in here and use different lightings. That way it's not reflecting off my glasses. Because I think that's a distraction. It's a distraction for me. It's a distraction for you. So anyway, so Zelle, what happened with Zelle was they completely shut me off. Well, no, Zelle didn't. TD Bank did. They blamed Zelle. And after doing research, I found out it was TD Bank. And TD Bank doesn't allow business transfers for Zelle, so into business accounts. So I have, business accounts with TD Bank for my real estate, and they don't allow the tenants to pay, which is a bunch of bullshit. So what happened was, all my tenants want to pay me direct, right? So I started using the Cash App. The Cash App is also, it's okay. The problem is the money goes to the app, then you have to transfer it to your account. It's not instant. Zelle is instant, and it's a safe way of transferring money. And I did a lot of research and found out that Chase Bank allows the Zelle through business. So my tenants now are paying me my rent the ones who want to pay me through Zelle in Chase. But it made me mad about TD Bank doing that because it's just a greedy thing. TD Bank wants to charge fees for transferring money, and that's why they're not allowing the Zelle. And in my TikToks that I did earlier, I explained that, I've been with TD Bank for 12 years. All of my businesses are with TD Bank. Now, I do have accounts at Chase Bank, so I was lucky because when this happened, I immediately looked at Chase. Oh, yeah, they take it great. I'll switch over to Chase. And I have a checking account there, so it worked out well. When I did the TikTok this morning, though, then people started commenting on the different banks that they use and they don't like. Now, what happened was I started taking it in Chase. It's been working out very well up until Thursday. All of a sudden on Thursday, now any of my tenants that use Citizens Bank here in Rhode Island, they got blocked by Citizens. Citizens told them that the Zelle account was suspended. That's not true. My Zelle account's working fine. I got some payments today through Zelle. I would say out of the 380 tenants, probably 100 paying Zelle. But there's some eight or so tenants that have Citizens that got blocked by Citizens. Citizens lied to them and said, oh, the guy's suspended. Well, I'm not. It was Citizens because, again, another greedy bank wants to be able to charge for transfers, charge fees. So, greedy bank. So that's why it's one of those things where you have to look at the banks. If you go to Zelle's website, it gives you a list of banks that you can work with Zelle. And then obviously, you then have to find out, well, in my case, where I'm using it for business, find out which ones allow me to use it for business, like Chase. So it worked out good with Chase. But, the banks make enough money to go and start charging fees to people. Then what happened was I realized today, and of course when I was younger, I did the same thing when I was new to the banking system and new to using banks. What did I do every once in a while? I would bounce a check, overdraft my account. Yeah, they charge these fees, $35, $50 to overdraft your account or bounce a check. And then, of course, it goes through the second time. The problem is I'm thinking to myself, these fees are like exorbitant, unreasonable. Because if you're a young person, just got a job, and you're new to the banking, you make yourself $25, $30 an hour, okay? Then what happens is, they charge you that fee. They actually took an hour of your pay. That bank, who's supposed to be your partner, supposed to be helping you, right? Start your career and saving and start a relationship. They take an hours of your money, an hour of your pay that you worked hard for. And that right there to me is a deal breaker. So that's the story with that. So I just wanted to mention that, Bank of America uses Zelle. I have payments from tenants who've used Bank of America Zelle. Actually, most of them use Zelle. Most banks use Zelle in larger credit unions. So somebody asked me today, how come you're doing business with these big national companies? Why aren't you using a regional or local bank? Well, I am now. I use Bank RI. Bank RI is a Rhode Island bank. It's a regional bank. Very good. They don't charge the fees. Now, I guess I would say I stumbled across them because they happened to do that big loan for me that I just did to buy the 39 unit building. So Bank RI did the loan, and part of the deal was I would open up accounts there and start using them. And yes, I am. I'm going to start using them. You know what? Let me try this. It's not working either. Of course, I could open the door, right? Could open the door. There we go. And that gets rid of it, right? Today was the first nice day. Today was the very first nice day that we've had. Really nice day. I mean, it's 69 degrees today. It's been cold. It's been a cold... April was a cold April this year. So what I do is I keep track my ice cream shops. I keep track of the weather, the daily weather, and of course the sales. So looking back at April this year has been one of the coldest Aprils we've had in the last 10 years. Affecting the sales. That's how I can keep track. That's how I know. That's been bad. All right, let's see what we got for questions here. I don't want to just be babbling all night. The Zelle story's going viral. Well, the Zelle story is a factual story. I mean, so the worst part to me. Look, I understand that there might be some sort of security things or something like that where, okay, they can't use Zelle for business. But for them to turn around and lie, okay, and that's exactly what TD Bank did, lie. Oh, Zelle shut you off. It wasn't Zelle, it was TD Bank. But anyway, which ice cream shops are mine? So in Rhode Island, I own 3 ice cream shops. One in Patuxent Village in Cranston, one on West Shore Road in Warwick, and one on Route 2 in East Greenwich. They're called Dear Hearts. This week, though, I'm opening up a new store on Elmwood Avenue in Warwick, Hershey's store. So if anyone saw the TikToks, we painted the building, looked like a cow. Donnie and Roger, my painters, did a great job. Great job. All I did was show them a picture, and they did a great job with it. It looks really, really cool. So that store's opening this week. We actually have the okay to open now, but I want to be, really be ready. So it looks like maybe Thursday or Friday. So I did a couple of, it's been cold in Wisconsin. So I think just it's a late blooming spring, I guess you would say. So the couple of things that came up in my TikToks about the ice cream shop that I'm opening up is, so it's going to be takeout windows. You're not going to go inside. It's takeout windows. So you go up to the windows, you order your ice cream, So when I did the walkthrough the other day, somebody said, oh, the place needs a complete remodel. So I built that ice cream shop in 2002 myself. I ran it for about 4 years, and I sold the business, collected the rent. I own the building. So the issue is this. When I open up an ice cream shop now, and I've opened up 7 of them, and even when I opened up my nightclub, we had to buy beer coolers, we had to buy equipment. It's my opinion that I'm not going to compete with the $1 million franchises or the $1 billion corporations that have corporate stores. I'm not going to compete with them. So my store has to be my store. It's a mom and pop, family-owned business. You open up. What do the customers see? The customers see the outside. They see the entrance. They see the people that you hire, the appearance, right? That's the important part. They don't see the inside of the kitchen. They don't see. So why would I waste $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 renovating a kitchen when this place may flop? It may flop, right? So if it does well, then I can renovate it. Here's a good example. When I bought, hey, Jethro Scott, how you doing? There's a dog in the back. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's one of my dogs. That's funny. So I got 2 dogs. They're brothers. There's one right there. So, that's one of them. So, yeah, Polly, well, I'll talk about how I'm feeling in a minute, because that's a whole nother issue. I'm feeling like shit. And I'm frustrated about that, too. But when I bought my first ice cream shop in 1998, it was in Patuxent Village in Cranston. It had opened originally in 1982 by the previous owners. They started Dear Hearts, George and Ellen, and they were older, and I bought from them. They were retiring. When I bought the store needed, of course, it was 20 years old. It needed a rehab. But I bought it. I closed on it in September. It was still open for business. And it was nice because it was the end of the season. So it gave my parents and myself an opportunity to run the store, to learn the business, and get to know the ice cream business. So we ran it that year. Okay. We then cleaned it up and ran it the second year, or the first full year. After the first full year, we made a little bit of money. We took that money and we completely remodeled and renovated the store. It was a great, great idea, and it worked because, I don't know if you hear the dogs. They're barking us up. There goes the other one. They're chasing something. We have a lot of rabbits and deer. We have a lot of because of the woods and everything. We have a lot of rabbits and deer. So they're always chasing something. But we have one of those electronic fences, so they can't get out. And I got to tell you something. That was the best expense we ever. So we had a dog prior to these 2 dogs. We had a dog, Sushi. His name was Sushi, and we put the dog fence in for Sushi. It was like $1,500 for the installation of the whole fence. It was about 10 years ago. And then Sushi passed away, and then we got these dogs, and we still use the same fence. And it worked out really well. So anyway, I open up the store. I see them going back and forth. I open up the store on a shoestring. I don't spend a lot of money. I wait to see if it's successful in that area. Then it's time for me to reinvest money into the store, to remodel the store, buy new equipment. And in that way, obviously, I'm in it for the long term. How am I feeling? It is Weston Cranston, Patty. How you doing? How did you guess? It is Weston Cranston. We're right near the soccer fields, right in the neighborhood behind the soccer fields. If you're familiar with Western Cranston. In fact, it's funny. The other day, I was flying my drone from my house, and I was flying it over the soccer fields, watching all the kids playing soccer and baseball. There's baseball there too. So anyway, so that's the story too. Plan B, if my ice cream supplier folds, well, then I would go with another ice cream supplier. There's a lot of, hey, you're in North Smithfield. How you doing? In North Smithfield. So I was in Smithfield today. Special Olympics had an event at Bryant University. So that's where I was today during the day. Set up the sound systems for the Special Olympics Northern Area Games. That was at Bryant University. Good question. When's my pool open? I think they're coming next 15th of May, 2 weeks. 2 weeks they'll come and they'll open the pool. My hot tub's already open. I'm in that every day. So let's talk about my health. Okay, let's talk about my health issues. So my Rocky Mountain spotted fever is gone. I don't have to take the medicine anymore. So that's done. I still have the major leg and back pain. I had an MRI last Monday night. I talked about that. I'm claustrophobic. I had to take, what did I take for I took 2 lorazepam is what I took. Helped me get through the MRI, and my wife came in the room with me. And, even though it's an open MRI, look, I'm claustrophobic. And what's interesting is I've had one MRI once in my life before. So, of course, I expected it to be like that. So the technician, who was very, very helpful, very nice, very understanding, I laid down on the table. He puts me inside. Well, all of a sudden he raises me up. So all of a sudden the thing's right in my face, right? So I turned my head sideways so I could see out. But then they also put this thing over me, over my chest, that kind of even made me a little more claustrophobic. Didn't have that the last time. He said, well, it's new and improvement, better pictures. I'm like, okay, whatever. I did get through it. Now, I don't like wearing the headphones. They'll play music. I don't like that. They'll put earplugs in. I don't like any of that. I'd rather hear the banging noise and just deal with it. It's not loud where you're going to go deaf, But anyway, so I had my MRI. So Friday morning, met with the doctor, went over the MRI. The great news is, okay, there's nothing wrong with any discs or any bulging discs or slipped discs. Right? That's the great news. That's wonderful news. And of course, the news is that I have nothing else major wrong with me. He is suggesting is all muscular, all like nerves and muscular. And the only thing that will help me is either a chiropractor or physical therapy. Now, I had physical therapy a few years ago when my sciatic, my left leg, I had physical therapy and it worked. Took a couple of months and it worked. But tomorrow is my first physical therapy appointment. I was able to get an appointment right away for tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. And I'm going, elevators. That's how it started, Patty. I'll tell you an elevator story. I will tell you an elevator story. So tomorrow I am going to try physical therapy tomorrow and go to physical therapy. It did work for me in the past. And I also went to a chiropractor years ago and that worked too. But anyway, so the problem is this. I still have this major pain. I don't know if they're miracle workers, because Friday night I had to deal with the pain. Last night I had to deal with the pain, sleeping, can't sleep. I'm sitting here right now. My leg is killing me. So that's the story, with that, elevator story. So everyone makes fun of me because no matter, I would say up to 8 to 10 stories, I will go up the stairs. Okay. I do not like elevators. Now, it depends on the building. If it's a newer building, newer elevators, I'll take the elevators. We went to it's not called the Sears Tower anymore, but back in October when we took the family, I did go up to the 130th floor or whatever on the elevator. It takes like a minute. I'm not happy about it, but you know what? I just think about, getting off at the top, and I'm with a bunch of people in the elevator. They jam them all in. On one hand, it stinks. You're all jammed in. On the other hand, I'm like, well, you know what? If I'm stuck, they're stuck too. But anyway, I don't like elevators. There's a building in Providence called the Turk's Head Building. It's an old building in downtown Providence. People that are from Rhode Island probably familiar with it. It's right next door to that Superman building. Anyway, the Turk's Head Building, the elevators, there's like 5 of them in a row. They only fit 2 people on them. You literally have to squeeze onto this elevator. 2 people. That one I will take the stairs, 15 flights. I will take the stairs, 15 flights. and it's good. It's good exercise anyway. But today I had to do a lot of walking around down at Bryant University. I did a ton of walking around with Special Olympics. So I just have to deal with it now. I have to go to physical therapy. I have to do the exercises they suggest me to do. And I have to do it. Now, I was willing, because of this pain, I mean, when I went and saw the doctor Friday morning, I was thinking the worst. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have back surgery. I'm going to have surgery on this. When can you do it? I need to get rid of this pain. Please, please, please. And now I'm lucky because now I'm lucky because it's not bone related or anything like that, spine related. It's physical therapy related, whatever you want to call it. The only thing I will tell you is this, like even now I'm touching my back right now and I have knots every day, these giant knots in my back. So I do have one of those massage things that I do sit with, and I've been sitting at my desk with, and that's how I get through working at my desk. And that kind of is nice because it does relieve my leg pain. But anyway, so that's the story with that. But I've had these weird health issues lately, right? The Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and then of course this leg and back pain, which is just awful. So it's funny. I have a yoga mat, and I did sleep on the floor the other night. I don't mind sleeping on a flat surface on my back, and I don't mind that at all. And that has worked too. Sometimes I have to just lay there until I fall asleep. I got Ozark came out with the last 7 episodes Friday, so that gave me something to do Friday night and last night. In the middle of the night, I only have 2 episodes left to watch. So that helps me when I can't sleep. But, when I'm done watching Ozark tonight, now what do I do? So anyway, so that's the story with that. But yeah, I don't mind sleeping on the floor on a hard surface. But yeah, I got these knots. So if I use the massager, that does take the knots out. The hot tub. So the hot tub is giving me instant relief. I can jump in the hot tub like right now, and the pain immediately goes away. While I'm in the hot tub, there is no pain. I don't know if it's because there's no pressure on my body, no pressure on the legs, no pressure. I don't know what it is. It's instant relief. But as soon as I get out, I get the pain comes back again. But I will do that just to get a break from the pain. Go in the hot tub just to get a break from the pain. I will do that. So anyway, so that, that's the story with all of that. That's my tales of woe. Somebody else, I was talking about the Zelle story today, right? I did a couple TikToks, and I am hiring for the new store. We're still hiring, Kelly, because what's happening is we do all the hiring if you go to dearhearts.com, on that website is a link to our application. Because that store's only about a mile from my other stores. All my stores are really within 10 miles of each other. So we do all the hiring in my office, and then we decide there which store people best work at. So, but we are still hiring for that store. Let's see, I'm trying to see what other. So yeah, so I decided, like I said, I have my studio. You obviously have my full streaming studio downstairs that I use for my YouTube and for my podcast. But I was able to move this out here, which I did last year, into my sunroom, because this little table, I can literally pick it up and move it outside. Last year, that's what I did. I did all my TikToks right from the back deck last summer, and it was fun. It was comfortable and it was nice. So I'll do the same thing this summer, But anyway, hey, Norwich, Connecticut, how you doing? I didn't see that. Sorry about that. Somebody had suggested also in the winter, why don't you do something like coffee, donuts, bakery type of goods? So, well, first of all, the store that I keep open year round is on West Shore Road in Warwick. Next door there is is a coffee shop. It's called the PVD Coffee Bar, and they do a nice job. But I do have a full business plan that I had written 10 years ago, where I came up with an idea of doing soups and stews, because what happens is when you buy from a distributor, it all comes frozen. So I have all the freezers for the ice cream, right? So I thought, okay, fine, I'll buy, there's a company called Blount Blount Foods. Now, they started out as Blount Seafood, but they're Blount Foods. They are a huge distributor of soups. A lot of restaurants, if people own a restaurant, they follow me, they'll recognize the name. They make seafood soups, chowders, but they also make beef stew. They make all different types of, they make chili. So that was a business plan I had at one point was, do I, in the winter, bring in, say, 10 items, some soups, some chili, the stews, and sell those items, by the, gallon, half gallon type of thing. And I was going to do that. But then that one year, the first year of COVID, I kept the ice cream store open as an ice cream store. And it did pretty good. It covered the bills for December, January, and February, covered the bills. And of course, in March, it started making money again. So that's why I never followed through with that business plan. But I'm always thinking of a business plan, something I can do. Because, I'm paying taxes on the building. I'm paying, that particular one building is paid off, so I don't have a mortgage on it, but I am paying taxes. I'm paying the heat, paying electricity, insurance year round, right? So why not have something that's generating income to cover the expenses on that building? So that's the story with that. But I'm always thinking of something that I can do, and I suggest it to my tenants. So I have tenants that own ice cream shops, right? Because the one in Smithfield, I sold that ice cream shop, and I own the building. If anybody's familiar with Smithfield, Scoops up there, Scoops Ice Cream. I started that ice cream shop in 2006 as a Dear Hearts Ice Cream and sold it off. That's a family-owned business. So they actually keep it. Open, and the previous owners sold Allie's Donuts there in the winter and coffee, and I guess they did well. Same thing. They have rent. Obviously, they pay me rent, but it was enough to cover their rent, cover their cost, and keep them going through the winter. Then in the summer, of course, they're selling ice cream. They're making money selling ice cream. So, used cars. The issue with used cars is you have to get a whole license. You have to go through a whole permitting process to sell used cars at a location that doesn't have a used cars license. Of course, I just did buy some property in Johnston that did come with a used car license. So we're going to be Mike, who runs my, he used to run the audiovisual business, now he's special projects. He's actually going to be managing that property in Johnston, and we're going to bring somebody in to run the used car business. So that's a new business that I'm getting into, used cars. And I'm not going to have much involvement with it because Mike will be managing the property. We're going to bring a manager in to really run the used car lot. And that will be interesting to see what happens with that business. But that came with the property that I bought. The used car business happened to come with the property. So we'll try it. We'll try it. Let's see. I bought a piece of property last week, a 6-unit apartment house that I am going to do a TikTok on. I didn't mention anything about it. Well, I didn't mention anything about it for a few reasons. One, I went and I looked at it. I wasn't sure about it. Went back and forth with the seller, negotiated a deal. And the funny thing is on yesterday morning, my lawyer emailed me, how are you financing this building in West Warwick? So I didn't even realize that they accepted my offer and the real estate agents worked it all out. That's how out of it I've been, right? But anyway, so I bought this building. What's unique about this building, and the reason why I'm going to do a TikTok, I'm going to go there and do a nice video. I have purchased, this is the third building that I have purchased in my life that was actually a former mansion that they converted into multi-unit apartment house. So this was a mansion. It's in West Warwick. It was a mansion. It has a name. I can't remember. When we go there, we'll get the name off of it. They owned the mill. It was the old people that owned them. Down the street was a huge mill. The people that owned the mill owned the mansion. So it was whatever. I forget the name of that. I don't want to mention the name because I don't want to give the wrong name. But it's on the mansion. So you go in the front door of this mansion, beautiful grand staircase that goes up, right, upstairs. Beautiful grand staircase, goes up 2 flights of stairs, big wide staircase. And downstairs, what they did is they converted. They have 2 apartments, then 2 on the second floor and 2 on the third floor. So in Cranston, Laurel Hill makes money, always jokes about it being a haunted house, my house on Laurel Hill Avenue, because it does look like a haunted house. But that also was a mansion at one time. It was on the top of a hill in Cranston. And that was a mansion that was converted to 6 apartments. So, so it's really interesting. And I have another one in Warwick. Where they took these large, but that wasn't really a mansion, it was a very large house. They converted into 6 apartments. But two of them, though, were legitimate mansions, family-owned mansions. And at some point, they divided them into 6 apartments and turned them into apartment houses. So the one I just bought in West Warwick is the case there. And, it's a nice building. It's a well-maintained building. Hasn't been updated in a few years, but it's a well-maintained building. With a dirt parking lot, which I don't understand that at all, why people do not pave the parking lot. Hi, Dad. How you doing? What's going on? Gucci effed you, beats you. Really? Okay, that's funny. Good evening, Jeff, 67 in Birmingham. Has anybody heard the Jeff Bezos song? I'm sure you have, right? So the funny thing about the Jeff Bezos song is his name's Jeff. He was born in 1964, and he's an entrepreneur. So I'm Jeff. I'm born in 1964, and I guess I'm considered an entrepreneur. The only difference is I'm not the richest guy in the world, and he is. But anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. When I hear that song, I think about that, 3 out of 4, right? 3 out of 4. So anyway, I had where's my phone? Because I had some questions that I like to address during my live. I like to address these questions. By the way, I saw one of the funniest videos on TikTok this morning. I'd seen it once before, but for some reason it came up again, so maybe they reposted it. And it was an elderly lady, how to put a fitted sheet on a bed. And it is really funny. And I don't know how to repost it with my friends, because I'd like to I've never done that before. But to me, and it shows you my sense of humor. Let me see here. It was funny, So I had to put a fitted sheet on bed. But anyway, let me go to my questions, because I don't want to miss any questions. So here's one right here. So this guy here made a funny comment. Okay, now again, I have thick skin and I like funny comments. So he goes, "Oh shoot, where did he go? You must be the life of a party, being able to make a long story longer." Yeah, I do make a long story longer, but I like to tell the backstory. I like to give everybody the facts, the behind the scenes, what led to the story, the outcome of the story. But yeah, I could see where I might bore people, but I've never denied that. In fact, as a lot of my followers know, I encourage you, if you have a sleep disorder and you cannot sleep at night, watch my TikToks. They are a very good sleep aid. I think they're actually being prescribed by physicians because my TikToks are sleep aid, right? They'll help you go to sleep. Unfortunately, when I watch them, it doesn't put me to sleep. I have started selling ice cream for the season. So we started, 3 of my stores are open now. They started a month ago. It was March 15th, actually, is when we opened. So they've been open for 6 weeks. It's been cold, so it hasn't been any gangbusters. We're not breaking any records, that's for sure. This week, the new store opens, and we'll see how that one does. That's an experiment. So that's why when people say to me, "Oh, you should have renovated the kitchen and do this and spend money." No. That's, first of all, people say, is there money in ice cream? There is if you do it right. If you're going to go and you're going to borrow $150,000, $200,000 and have a $4,000 a month payment, a $5,000 mortgage payment because you borrowed this money, then no, there's no money in ice cream, because try paying that payment in December and January, okay? And I know the ice cream machine companies, they want you to buy all new machines, $20,000 each, you need 3 machines, $60,000, right? Bullshit. So I always start using used equipment, older equipment. Let's see if the place is going to work. Then I can buy new equipment, new freezers, new ice cream equipment. But, you can't compete with these big companies that are opening up. Listen, I have all used, beautiful Taylor soft serve machines. Do you want to know where I got them? I got them from these crazy yogurt places that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars opening up a yogurt place, and it flops. And then they sell everything pennies on the dollar. And here comes Jeff Butler. Hey, I'll buy those machines from you. So these machines are usually $20,000, $22,000 each, brand new. I'll buy them 2 years old for $6,000. I'm going to close this door a little bit because it's a little cold on my back. All of a sudden, I guess the temperature's going down, right? Of course, now we have to deal with the ring light distraction. Bullshit. Staffing issues, not yet. This year, last year, I had more staffing issues than I did this year. Last year it was hard, especially towards the end of the year. But so far we've been able to hire people. We got people coming in, young people applying for the jobs. We're hiring. Tim does all the hiring, and so far we're doing very well. That, knock on wood, we're hiring. We're getting a good staff. I've talked about this before. I like the 14 and a half and 15-year-old kids because we're teaching them our way of doing things. They're energetic. They're enthusiastic. They want to work. They want to learn. It's a great thing. They want to make money, right? So we haven't had any staffing issues this summer yet. And my biggest stressor is in August when all the college kids go back to school. And, of course, in September when the schools open and the high school kids go back to school. That's when we tend to have staffing issues because I keep the stores open until Halloween. You don't have to watch my videos, Stephanie, especially have to put 2 bottles of wine. Well, that's true, too. I guess you're right. I guess that's a good point, but... and the wine is probably a lot more enjoyable than my videos, too. Yeah, that's funny. I'm on a group text. I got to tell you a story. So I have 4 brothers. There's 5 of us all together. My father, Brian's on the group text. Everyone knows Brian, my nephew. I'm trying to think who else is it. Matthew, my other nephew in California. He's on the group text. So, I got to call Brian. I'm going to call Brian right now. You guys, if you don't mind, I'm going to call Brian about it. Hopefully he'll answer. Let's see if he answers. Because I just got a group text. It distracted me. So I want to talk about this group text. Oh, sure. No, he's not answering. Hey, Nicole, you listen to me while you're on a walk. Oh, that's great. That's cool. I do send in secret shoppers. I'll talk to you about the secret shoppers. That's a great question. Brian's not answering.
Please leave your message for...
Oh, well. So we'll try him again after. I thought he was listening to me. But anyway, I will talk about the group text. But also, yes. So secret shoppers. So I have a couple because I own multiple businesses. So my mechanic who works for Butler Waste, my diesel mechanic, loves ice cream. So last year I gave him we have gift cards. So I gave him a gift card, and they're reloadable gift cards. I bought the kind you can actually add money back onto. So I gave him a gift card, and I told him, the only reason you get a gift card is when you go shopping there, you have to email me and tell me, how was the service? Did the staff, were they on their phone? Were they texting? Did they give you good service? Did they give you the right amount of ice cream? When I say the right amount, too little, too much. We typically give too much, which is a huge problem. It's a huge problem from profit margin purposes and making money purposes. But anyway, so he's a secret shopper. I have a couple of people in my office that work in my office that, again, the staff of the ice cream shops do not know. I give them gift cards. And I have a couple of friends in my family that I give gift cards out. So I probably have 8 or 10 secret shoppers now that go out, and they know I want to hear the good and I want to hear the bad. Speaking of bad, I'm going to tell you a bad Butler Waste story, right? It's not all, honey and roses, right? So Butler Waste. So whenever there's a problem with any of my businesses, I always tell the managers, if it gets over your head and it comes to me somehow, we're going to have a huge problem. Well, that happened last week. So by sheer coincidence, one of my best friends, he's an IT specialist for a large real estate firm, coincidentally, in Providence. And we empty their trash. We do their trash for them. So what happened was he called me up the other day, told me we have a problem. I said, what's the problem? He goes, well, I'm going to send you the video. So he sent me the video. So what he did is he sent me a video of our driver and also the helper. In this case, it was the helper. The driver had no idea what was going on. They have to take the trash. They're in toters, the big giant toters on wheels that you put out by the street. These are inside a locked room in the basement garage of a building. So you drive into the garage, you have to empty the toters. It's a big drive-in garage. So the lazy assistant on my truck, we have a winch on the back of the truck for towing toters or towing garbage cans or flipping garbage cans over. When you're using toters, you don't need the winch because you have the toter mechanism to flip the towed her into the truck. So this brain surgeon used the winch to hold the door open. It's just a big, wide 36-inch door, but he tied it to the door handle, the winch, to hold the door open. So that way they could take the toters out and he could dump it into the back of the truck. So he finished. He gets in the truck and says to the driver, okay, all set. Well, they weren't all set. The driver drove away and guess what? Ripped the door handle off the door. Now, the door didn't get damaged. The problem is the door handle was one of those security ones that you use a swipe card and one of those expensive electronic ones. So they sent the video over to our office, obviously, to Brian, because Brian used to manage Butler Waste. And Brian did the right thing. He forwarded this to Nicole, and Nicole manages Butler Waste. Not that it matters, but Nicole does not realize that the people that run this real estate firm are good friends of mine. So I guess she said, she'll send somebody over there, blah, blah, blah. But a few days went by and they got a little impatient. So they contacted me. So I said, I found out the whole story. I look, we have to deal with this. When we break something, just let's fix it. We'll deal with the driver after. Let's make the customer happy. Now, and in this case, obviously, we're not going to lose a customer over it because we accept responsibility right away. But to me, right away is that day. Let's not wait a few days. We did it. Let's fix it. So anyway, so that's the story with that. So I will tell you that a helper is no longer with us. The driver, it wasn't her fault, so she's obviously still with us. She had no idea that he did that. So anyway, so it's unbelievable. So talk about sending the employee the bill, right? That's the first thing you think. Make the employee pay for the damage, right? Let's talk about that in Rhode Island. So in Rhode Island, as an employer, you are not allowed to take money out of an employee's check for damages for anything they did wrong. You're not allowed to do that. You can fire them. This is why the law is stupid, by the way. The law is stupid. I can fire the guy. Hey, you did the damage. You're fired. But I can't take the money out of his check. The other option is I can suggest to him, hey, I'm going to have to fire you. Unless you want to offer to pay for that, you have to offer. I cannot make you pay for it. You offer to pay, then you can keep your job. You don't, I'm sorry, I have to fire you. That's why the law is stupid. But anyway, so that's the story with that. So it's unfortunate that law is in place because it takes complete responsibility away from employees who do stupid stuff, right? So that's the story with that. So let's see. Nope, different driver. So I think they did ask him to pay, and he offered to pay half. Now, even that, if it's their first time, fine, pay half. Second time, no, I'm not going to. But I mean, again, it's one of those things, you always ask them to pay, and then their response really tells me a lot about that person, right? Their response tells you a lot about that person. The good news is we're starting to hire more drivers too. We had of course, staffing issues as well too, hiring drivers, but we're starting to do a lot better. Let me try calling Brian again about this group text thing because I really want to talk about this group text. You may not care about it, but you know what? It's one of those things where it's my family dynamics. It's my family dynamics. Yeah. So that was that funny stories about the wonderful world of refuge. That was one story right there. I don't know where Brian is tonight. I talked to him a couple hours ago.
Hello?
Oh, where you been?
I've been talking to my mother.
You can't talk to your mother when I'm on TikTok.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Are you done talking to your mother? I don't want to interrupt your conversation with your mother.
No. I was talking to her long enough, and I said, I got to go. I got to take the call.
All right. So here's the story, okay? I was just explaining to people about this giant group chat that I'm stuck in with you and Matthew and my father and all my brothers.
Yeah.
Okay? Now I'm stuck in this group chat, and the group chat is all about what? What's it about?
It started about movies.
Okay, started about movies. So what happens is my father will watch a movie, and he will then group chat everybody. Doesn't matter whether it's 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. Hey, just finished watching this movie, I recommend it. Now, the problem is my father likes every movie. He recommends the biggest shit movies there are out there.
Oh, terrible movies. Terrible movies.
Right? So
Terrible
my father will watch a movie just for the sake of watching a movie. Now, he actually recommended one a few weeks ago that my wife and I started watching. It was all subtitles. Well, listen, I don't want to have to work to watch a movie. I want to relax. I don't have to sit there and have to read and write. So we stopped watching that one. But the problem is that he recommends every single movie, you know? So now here's the other problem that we have. I got everybody on the group chat. So you got to realize something. They all start talking back and forth. It doesn't matter where I'm in. The office at 8 o'clock in the morning. At night, 10 o'clock at night. The other, 2 in the morning. And this group chat is going back. To me, it could be an emergency. I hear ding, 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 ding. I go over there. Has anybody seen, Cold Hearted or whatever it might be, right? Right, Brian?
The problem with Papa, so the other thing is every time he sends a text, he ends it with like a salutation, like it's an email.
Yes.
So,
yeah, see, my father doesn't understand texts, to that person. But,
yeah.
Right. So here's the other
problem. The problem is he likes action films. And so he'll find, like Uncle Jeff is correct, he will find these awful, like B-rated movies on Netflix that are like foreign films where there's dubbing sometimes, and sometimes it's terrible. And if there's action, a lot of fighting, a lot of shooting, they'll be like, "Oh, that's a great, excellent movie."
So he recommends these real dog movies. I don't know. So here's the biggest problem though that I get, the frustration I get. So we will say, okay, so there's a lot of platforms out there, right, to see movies, right? How many platforms are there? There's Disney, there's Prime, there's
Disney, Prime, Hulu, Netflix. Those are the big ones.
Right. So you know what I'm about to say. Here's the biggest frustration. Hey, Dad, where did you watch that movie? He'll say Netflix. I'll go on Netflix. Can't find it. Hey, Dad, where did you watch that movie? Oh, must have been Prime. Go on Prime. Can't find it. So now what happens is we're on a wild goose chase. It's a wild goose chase. It's a scavenger hunt trying to find out where he watched the movie from. Right?
Yes.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's a pain in the neck too. I'm sitting here with Chris. We want to watch a movie, and now we have to go to all the different platforms trying to find this movie that was recommended. But so he it's just funny because he recommends some movies that are real
dogs,
foreign
real
movies.
Dogs.
Yep, foreign movies. And but we've also had some. How about the ones that you and I went to? Here's a good. All right. So Brian, what's the ones we went to at the theater when the theater first reopened after COVID? My father recommended 2 movies. One was the one. Wasn't one with a guy, the oil rig or something?
Yes, it was Mark Wahlberg on the oil rig.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg was on an oil rig or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Mark Wahlberg, had a bad moment or something and he decided to make this movie. But I'll tell you something. It wasn't one of his best movies, No,
it was not. No, and I think I would come with the great recommendation of Tenet, and then I ended up not being able to make it.
Oh, Tenet. Oh, what a terrible. I want to know, anybody that's watching me right now, has anybody seen that movie, Tenet? It's T-E-N. It has nothing to do with tenant, landlord, tenants. The movie was called
T-N-E-T.
T-E-N what?
T-E-N-E-T.
Yeah, Tenet. Has anybody seen that movie? I need to know right now if you saw that movie, if you understood it, if you liked it. Or is it just me? My mother's on there. My recommendations for movies are the best, and you guys know it. Yes, the last movie my mother recommended, The Notebook, 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it was very good.
Yeah.
Yep. She's batting 1,000. She recommended it.
I think when I was 9 years old, we watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That was a recommendation by her.
Yeah. No, I still have my user Corey Catons. I still have my nice studio in the basement. I still use the studio for doing some TikToks and doing some TikToks. I'm sorry, doing my YouTubes and doing some streaming. But what I do in the summers, I want to be up here. So I have my nice portable studio. I moved upstairs. But yeah, no, I still have the studio in the basement. In fact, I made a big upgrade in the studio in the basement last week, which I'm going to be using because I've been shooting so much drone footage. And I want to be able to show my drone footage on TikTok live. When I do a live, I just set up a monitor down there that will be behind me so I can say, hey, let's watch this footage. I can, so I just did an upgrade in my studio downstairs, which is really, really, really cool. So that's going to be nice because I am shooting a lot of drone footage with my new drone and just started following the online classes to get my drone pilot's license. That's going to be a challenge. I was never a good student. So that's going to be, I don't know if I'll be able to finish it. I hope I can, Do you know that when you get your drones pilot's license, it's actually the same as having a regular pilot's license, except you don't have the hours in the airplane. Did you know that, Brian?
I actually did not know that.
Yes, because you need to know all of the flight paths. You need to know airspace. You need to know all the FAA rules, regulations. It's the same exact thing, except you need more hours, obviously, hours in the plane, So, the drone races are really, really cool on ESPN. They really, really are, the drone races. I mean, I purchased my drone for more doing, film, video, film production, video production, and for my properties, for viewing my properties. I actually have used my drone. I've had a drone now, the Phantom 3 Pro. I've had that probably 8 or 9 years since it came out. And I use that to look at the roofs of my properties and view my properties, any damage to the properties that we can't get to. It's so easy, You can't think that fast. You can't think that fast. Oh, on the drones. No, you can't. It's amazing. Brian, the guy's talking about the drone races, when they race the drones.
Yes.
That is amazing. I mean, it's amazing how they do that. You know what I'm saying?
Really is.
I mean, it's very, very impressive. So, but no, my drone isn't really designed to be a racing drone. It's more of a, like I said, it's for production. I actually bought a film production drone. The newest one I just bought is for doing film production. But anyway, so Ryan, I specifically called you because of that group chat, because I'm sure there are people on here that have been stuck in group chat. Oh, so I can't take myself out of the group chat. So I Googled it yesterday. I literally would like to remove myself from this group chat because they were really aggravating me. When were you guys going? So was it yesterday? Or this morning. I'm trying to think. But I mean yesterday.
So the reason why you wanted to remove yourself at one point was because it's supposed to be for movies, and then it turned into politics.
Oh, that's right.
And Uncle Jim and Uncle Steve, two of your brothers, are polar opposites on their opinions. So is Papa of politics, and so they would send these novels.
Long story.
It might be 2 in the morning, might be 11 o'clock at night, might be 8 in the morning. And then there's like a recommendation for a movie in the middle. I'd be like, oh, and by the way, another thing. So
yeah. So my mother, again, is recommending Father Stu. She recommended it last week. She thought it would be a great movie for the whole family. Okay? So, I don't know. Hey, you know what movie the family did watch the other night, though? Is Ambulance. Did you see
I heard that was really good. I've not seen it yet.
Okay. Well, my father recommended it. It is a lot of action. It's an action-packed movie, everyone, but yeah. But anyway, kids today. Yeah, I know. I guess it. So, but Brian's right. So this group chat with my whole family in it turned into politics, and they were going back and forth and writing very, very intelligent, making strong cases on both sides. My Republican brother and my Democrat brother making strong arguments on both sides. Okay, it was amazing. Okay, problem is I'm busy. Lately, because of my health problems, I'm not sleeping a lot, so I'm short-tempered. Don't have a lot of patience, short patience, more so than usual, Brian. And you know what I'm saying. And so that's why this ding, 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 ding going on. So I want to remove myself. So I Googled it, And you cannot remove yourself from a traditional text group chat. If you use whatever the hell Apple's format is, iMessage. If you're in an iMessage group chat, you can remove yourself. But a traditional text message group chat where you have a variety of people, like for instance, I have an iPhone. Brian, you have the Kmart phone, right? Service.
I have an Android, and it's not a Kmart phone. I choose to use a provider that has the most coverage in the United States and is cheaper than the one you use. So,
except you have to leave your office to make a phone call.
I do. For some reason, the office is terrible. But I'll tell you what's nice, and it's a huge benefit for me, is my provider is the MLB TV for the year, and that's $20 a month right there. Plus Netflix. And I watch baseball's my favorite sport. I watch the Brewers all the time.
Yeah, well, I don't know. If you and Tim both have phone issues.
We do.
And you're on the same plan. So anyway, so I can't remove myself from this group chat. And it is so frustrating. And here's the problem. I know him says, well, why don't you turn the ringer off or turn the phone off? The problem is, then I miss the important stuff from people that are trying to get hold of me.
Like Home Depot.
So here's the other issue too. I try to teach my father. Texting is for instant response, instant gratification. Email is to share information like, hey, you know what? Just get back to me when you get a chance, right? So that's the other problem that we have too, because there's a disconnect there. My father will text me with something that's not important, and he'll email me with something that's really important that I should know about right away. So that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. So, but no, I haven't seen Father Stew yet. And they do recommend movies all the time. It's a group chat with everyone. And like I said, the politics thing has slowed down, but they're not doing that much lately, the last few weeks anyway. Have they?
No, they're not.
We're back to the movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me go back to my questions. Somebody had made a comment, Brian, that, well, actually, you know what? It really, I think, should have been directed at you. You know what they told me? They told me that I make a short story long. They did.
I have a very famous line. It's a long story short. Usually when I say it, the story is no longer short. And I use it as in, like, some people say, or like, or anyway, stuff like that. That's my, like, I don't know how to describe it, but, additional piece. That's what I say.
Brian, something just popped into my mind. So you don't know this because you and I haven't talked about it all day today. I've been doing TikToks about banks, bank fees, the aggravating fees, overdraft fees. Now, you were just talking to me and something popped in mind. You do have a story about that, don't you?
I do. That's why I'm on the bank incident.
What?
So, I don't know, it was 10 years ago, and I had a situation that happened where I paid by check at a Chinese restaurant. They didn't cap for like 3 weeks or so. I'm like the other millennial, I did not keep a check register, so I didn't realize it didn't go through. I had went to, bills were paid, money was all tight, I was running a little tight, and I went overdrawn by like $1, a couple bucks. And apparently it was over the weekend, and the same weekend there was my car payment, my insurance payment, my cell phone bill, Netflix, many of the bills that I had all were going through on that one weekend as the first one. And so what happened was every single one of those, it was like 12 different transactions. Some of it was just like purchase at a grocery store, whatever. Taco Bell, I'm sure. What happened was the weekend that check decided to go through, there was 12 different items that went and put me overdrawn, and I got whacked for all 12 of them. And they put me, refunded all those things, or returned all those checks. So every single one of those businesses penalized me for a return check, and I got hit by overdraft fees from Citizens Bank. And the problem was that I had car payment and the insurance, the car insurance, and both of those are automatic withdrawal. And Citizens Bank at the time, I called and I spent hours on the phone with customer service, multiple different people thinking maybe I'll get somebody who can help me. None of them could help me. They all told me that everything's automated. and it's all in the computer system, so they have no way of preventing it. And what I needed them to do was just hold the payment for 2 or 3 days, so I got paid again on Friday, so the money would be in the account, and then it would process, and I wouldn't get whacked with these fees.
Right.
So when they told me that there was nothing you could do, the computer handles everything, I said, what it would Skynet take over, I guess. It's in the world now.
Yep.
Long short, as I say, I basically had enough of them, and I switched to Santander at that point, who I've been with some sort of bonus promotional program going on. I got $300 for joining, setting up an account, and getting some direct deposits from my employer. So I've been with them ever since, and my only complaint about Santander is they have the world's slowest ATMs. Absolutely terrible.
So it takes a long time to use the ATM?
It does. And sometimes they're not functional, like they'll be down for whatever reason. And I've never had anything with any other bank where they're down as much as these are.
Yeah. Hey, Grog Boy says I mentioned him today. I wonder how I mentioned him today, Grog Boy. Grog Boy. Some of these names kill me. So, Brian, that's why it came to my mind. But see, that's a realistic story. For anybody watching me on TikTok or follow me, I like to share information. So, Brian, you had told me that story in the office one day, and that's why just now it popped in my mind. Hey, I got to talk about that. Here's a guy.
There's one more part of that story, actually.
What?
There's one more part of that story, actually. So, several years later, I got a letter in the mail that I was a part of a class action lawsuit that I didn't realize I was a part of. And, most of the time, if you get a class action lawsuit, you get a couple bucks, whatever. I got like a $328 check that I went to Citizens Bank to cash from them for the settlement. And Tim, the guy who just managed the ice cream shop, my roommate, happened to go like later on in the day, and somebody was like, "Is this real?" Somebody in front of him had a check just like I did, and it was for like $45. And the bank teller said, "Nope, it's a real thing." And so Tim said, "Well, you must not have gotten screwed as much as my friend did. He got $300-something."
Wow.
And the teller was just like, "I have never heard of one being that high before." So I got screwed a lot.
Yeah.
But the reason the class action lawsuit was held was because it was deemed unlawful for them to whack you for every single thing that went overdrawn. If you went overdrawn by a couple bucks, whatever the thing that put you overdrawn is what you get charged for, not for all the other things, and they shouldn't reverse all the other things. So, I wonder how much money over the years the bank made off of that, but.
Oh yeah. I'm sure even that lawsuit, they still made money in the bank.
Absolutely.
So that's why, but again, that was a realistic story. It happened to somebody. So what my story was this morning, Brian, at that time, I don't know, because this was years ago, how much you were making. Let's assume you were making what, $15-20 an hour? What were you making an hour at the time? Do you remember?
When this happened,
when this happened, well, how much were you making when this?
I don't know, salary, D'Angelo's, $750 a week.
All right, so $20 an hour. So here's my point. Here you are working hard every day, making $20 an hour, and the bank whacked you, in your case, hundreds of dollars. You probably lost a whole week's pay based on.
Absolutely, and that's why I needed them to delay it.
Right. So the issue is you lost a whole week's pay. What I was saying this morning is even one overdraft payment is usually $35. If somebody makes $30 an hour, they worked a whole hour to lose that money to the bank. The bank stole that money. Okay, even in your case when you made a mistake or there was a mistake, even if you do, you bounce a check. Why is the punishment so bad for people? And for people to stay with the bank after that, that's a problem. Excuse me for 1 second. Brian, go ahead and tell another story.
Well, I was just going to say, so it's $39 per transaction. So multiply that by 12, and then, you lose all that money. So 12 times, 39, whatever. And then I basically got everything resolved except for those two. And it took about 3 weeks of them just going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Before I was finally able to, it kept trying to charge it, and then it would kept declining it because there wasn't enough money in the account to cover both. And and then I would get whacked another fee by the car payment company and, or the car loan company, or whatever, and also the auto insurance company. And I would also get whacked by the bank itself. So as soon as that got settled, I immediately left that bank. And I'll never do business with them ever again because of that.
I'm sorry about that. You know, that's the problem with live TikToks. Hey there, Brian.
I'm here.
Yeah, no, what happened was my son Benjamin called me. He's out with his friends, and he wanted to tell me what time to pick him up. But anyway, so that's why I had to answer the phone. So yes, that's why the banks are on my mind today. Bank fees, they were on my mind today, and the fact that they rubbed me the wrong way. TD Bank rubbed me the wrong way when I saw the cash counting fees. I did a TikTok this morning about this, where, the ice cream shop, people pay cash. We have a lot of cash. I have to deposit the cash. And all of a sudden I notice on my statement, they're charging me a fee for depositing cash. A cash counting fee. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Cash counting fee. So the thing is that's why it's important to really look at a bank. Listen, and I'm not talking from a business point of view. I'm talking just a regular consumer like you, Brian. Really look at the bank, look at the fees, look at what they charge.
Yeah. Well, put it into perspective. It was, like I said, a 12 times 39. You're talking basically a month's rent at that time. I mean, rent is more expensive now, but you lose an entire the pay, which is a month, rent at that point,
Yep. So here's what so somebody's asking me, who do you recommend for banking needs? So I got to tell you what I did a couple weeks ago, because I was looking for, when I was looking for the bank to take Zelle, I Googled the different banks, came up, and you can go to each website and you look on their website. And if they don't post their fees, then I don't even look at that bank. You know why? Because why are they hiding their fees? So there's a lot of online banks now, the Ally Bank, a couple other ones that are electronic online banks that don't charge any fees. If you do direct deposit, they send you the ATM card, and there's no fees.
And they actually give you interest on your checking, which most places don't.
Exactly. So, credit unions, yes, credit unions are typically the best, or a local. So I just started using Bank RI, which is a local bank here in Rhode Island. They're the ones who. And, there's a good example, too. So I had to borrow for this loan for that big property in Cranston. I tell everyone the story. I did a refinance and I purchased that property. It's the biggest loan I ever got in my life. I still can't believe I got the loan, $5.8 million, okay? That's how much the loan is. That's all for that. None of the big, huge national banks gave me the loan. They wouldn't even look at me. This was a local bank, Bank RI, that gave me that loan. There were two other banks in Massachusetts that did offer to do the loan too, because I used a mortgage broker, which is a great thing. But none of the big banks were on the list. None of the big giant conglomerates were on the list. They don't want to do business with me. So I won't do business with them,
The biggest misconception is that banks work for you. They don't.
Oh, so a coach from the United Dolphins there said, thanks, good job at the Special Olympics. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So I provided the sound systems for opening ceremonies and for the clerking and for the awards areas down at Special Olympics today. My daughter, Emily, helped me today. So true story, every employee of the audiovisual business right now is out doing conferences, right, Brian? We're busy.
Correct.
We're busy. So typically this particular event, Special Olympics, I would have had two of them do the event, but they're all out. I asked Emily, do you want to come help me? And you know what? She worked just as hard as one of the AV technicians. I showed her what to do, and I paid her because she did a good job helping me today. And it was nice. It was nice to teach her how to set up the speakers, the microphones, and pair the iPads, because we use iPads to play the music. So that was really cool. So I'm glad that she came today, and that was kind of a nice thing today, Who have you been satisfied with handling your insurance business? So that's a tough one. I have an insurance agent. Huh?
I said nobody.
Yeah, so here's the problem with insurance, right? Your insurance agency is quick to sell you insurance, get you into that insurance, get your money, and get that insurance. Now you have a claim. That's when I judge my insurance agent. They can help me. I will tell you this agent that I have now is very good. They are responsive. If I tell them, look, I have a claim and I'm not hearing from the insurance company, they're all over them. They'll call them, they'll nag them, they'll give them a hard time. I'm having an issue right now with a claim where the insurance adjuster disappeared off the face of the earth, and I contacted my agent. Now, in my case, I admit I have a lot of leverage with my agent right now. I have 60 pieces of property insured with this agent. So at the average of whatever, $3,000 per property, you do the math, he's getting more than getting about $250,000 a year in insurance business from me. So I have a little leverage with him to say, hey, get them to be responsive, get them to work with me. But at the same time, when I get denied for a claim because I don't have coverage for something, I do hold my agent responsible. Why didn't you tell me about that coverage? Why didn't you tell me I didn't have that coverage? Why didn't you tell me that they have an endorsement exclusion on that? So I do hold him accountable, or that agency accountable, when I don't have the right coverage, because that's not right. You sold me the coverage, So the problem with I will tell you who I'm not satisfied. So a lot of these insurance agents, when you start crossing, a lot of them do homeowners insurance, right? So you start crossing over into commercial insurance, multifamilies commercial. A lot of them are not equipped. The agency's equipped with the product to sell you to cover your multi-unit property. So what happens is they'll stick you with like Lloyd's of London, which is a shit-ass company. And Lloyd's of London, I just got done suing them. I settled with them and got my money for a roof claim. But I shouldn't have to sue my insurance company, who I paid money to insure me. So I will tell you that they suck. Okay, Lloyd's of London suck. I had to sue them twice over the years. And now I'm migrating away from them. Telling my agent, do not stick me with any Lloyd's of London company, because their job is to not pay you. Okay, people say Lloyd's of London is a great company. No, they're not. They suck. Okay, they fight you. They're a big company. They fight you every step of the way. So I will tell you that. But right now I'm in the middle of a claim. The 39-unit building. I think I told the story 3 weeks after I bought it. What happened? For some strange reason, we had a pipe froze and burst, and we don't know why, and because the heat was on. And we're dealing with that insurance company. And so far, it's a big claim, obviously. 12 apartments got flooded on the second floor and then the first floor. So it's a big claim. So I will keep you abreast of how that insurance company works with me, and I will give you their name should they be a good company. Well, of course, if they turn out to be a shit company, I'll give you a name too. But I will let you know. The response, how we deal with that. But insurance, I got to tell you something. Insurance is a necessary evil. You have to get insurance. It's a necessary evil. But then the problem is are they going to pay? They look for loopholes not to pay. So let's talk about that. Insurance companies. So what I do is on the bigger claims, I will use a public adjuster. I don't know if anybody knows what a public adjuster is. A public adjuster is, for me, the public. I hire them to represent me when I have a claim. They read my policy inside and out. Typically, they are former insurance company adjusters, so they know what the insurance company is looking for. They know how to read a policy inside and out. So you hire a public adjuster. They negotiate with you a percentage, anywhere between 6 and 10% of the claim that they get. That's how they get paid. But it is very much worth it because they know how to read the policy, and they fight on your behalf. So typically, I will use a public adjuster for the larger claims. I'm using a public adjuster right now for 2 claims. So let's see. So yeah, looking at this person, Brian, SunTrust charged them, look at this, $35, 40 fraudulent charges, overdrafts in their account. They charged them. See, that's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
I know. Hey, Ninja Mama, how you doing? How am I doing today? Well, again, I'm still, I'm a complainer. My right leg is killing me. My bum is killing me. So, even that. So let's talk about that. So when I went to see the spine doctor a couple weeks ago, the spine surgeon, sports medicine surgeon, I said, look, can you give me something for the pain? I'm in excruciating pain. I haven't been able to go to the office, which Brian will tell you they're thrilled that I'm not going to the office, okay, because I've been in so much pain. They don't want me around. Okay?
It's a lot quieter.
It's quiet?
I said it's a lot quiet.
Yeah, okay. All I know is they're having lunch like 5 times a day. So,
No.
yeah, okay. I walk in, they're coming with Dunkin' Donuts. I leave, they're going out for Dunkin' Donuts.
Well,
So anyway, so I met with them and I said, can
listen,
you...
if we bought you Dunkin' Donuts more often, you wouldn't be that upset.
That's true. That's true. So I went to see the doctor. I said, look, I said, can you give me something for the pain? So he's like, I cannot give you anything until I see the MRI. Now, I know why, because they don't know if I'm some guy in there who's a drug addict who wants to win and just try to get some OxyContin or something like that, which, by the way, they just did give me some OxyContin to hold me over till I get the physical therapy. I do not like taking any medicine. I don't like to look. When I got type 2 diabetes and they put me on all kinds of medicine, what did I do? I immediately went on a diet, lost weight, started eating right. Because the last thing I want to do is take medicine, pain meds. I'm on. I got muscle relaxers. I got pain medication. They give me ibuprofen, prescription strength. I got patches to put on my leg. Right, those I'm okay with. The lidocaine patches. They're not bad, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they're addictive, lidocaine patch. But I got to tell you put one of those on, oh, it's unbelievable, the relief. But anyway, I can understand why they're concerned because of the highly addictive medications that are out there. And for me, listen, I'd rather not take anything. If I can go in the hot tub and get some instant relief, I'll do that before I take medication. But I am uncomfortable. Yeah, it's very addictive. You're right, Ninja Mama. I am very uncomfortable. And you're right. Makes money. Jeff, you're right. The Patriots had the worst draft. My wife, so I got to tell you something about my wife. So 2 years ago, when COVID struck, and they did the draft on the Zoom draft, my wife got into it. She followed that thing. She knew every player, everybody. She knew all the stats. I give her credit. She knew more than me. Brian, you and Carissa could have had it. Did I just lose you? I guess I did. Oh, well, maybe he'll call back. Or maybe he hung up on purpose. My wife could have had a good conversation with Brian, though, because she really did follow the draft. And then last year she did, and then this year she did. And she kept telling me, I didn't follow it this year just because being sick. And she kept saying the same thing. The Patriots had the worst, worst one. So you're right. But what do you care? Because you don't follow the Patriots anyway. It makes money, so you must be happy about it, right? So I thought that I believed until Friday morning that I had some sort of disc problem, bulging disc, slip disc, whatever it may be. I believed that until Friday morning when he showed me the MRI. He showed my wife on the MRI, went over it. You don't have any slip disc problems. You have no bone problems. Your spine's in good shape. It is all muscular. I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. But I'm going to physical therapy tomorrow, and again, I do try to avoid taking the medications. I don't like taking them. It messes up my body, messes up my stomach. I really just rather, stay natural, though I've been in so much pain. This pain is weird pain. It's constant pain 24 hours a day. During the day, I'm moving around, so it's not bad. It's like a 5. It's when I lay down in bed at night, forget it. Forget it. I can't sleep. It's awful. It's awful. It really is. It's just constant pain. It's enough pain to keep me awake, until I get exhausted and fall asleep. But you're right. I got the answers. So that was the relief. So Friday morning we went. The sucky part about the whole process is this, okay? So this lasted me a month, right? This pain, and it kept getting worse. So I go to my primary doctor. He's like, okay, I'm going to recommend you see the sports medicine doctor. Okay, fine. You call them up. All right, we can see you next week. So that's another week of pain, right? So I go see him. All right, we're going to schedule an MRI. It's going to be another. So you call them up. Okay, that's a week. Another week of pain, right? Now I have the MRI. I had the MRI Monday. All right, we're going to meet you on Friday. Another week of pain. So that's the problem. Oh, and then on Friday, guess what? The good news is nothing wrong with your spine, which is great news. Believe me, that was such a relief. But now you should go to physical therapy. So I call a physical therapy place I did go to a few years ago, they're not taking people for 2 weeks. 2 weeks of pain. But then I have a good friend of mine who recommended and is friends with the owner of a physical therapy firm who got me in for tomorrow. So I am going tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So, so I got to tell you something funny, Ninja Mama. This is funny. So next to the couch, okay, I have a heating pad. I have ice pads. I have one of those massaging things that you put on your back, okay? Heating pad, ice pad, and massaging, 3 things. And right outside the door, of course, I'll run out to the hot tub in the middle of the night. 2 a.m, I will go out there for instant gratification, just instant relief. So I have a process that I go through every night. I'll go from the heating pad to the ice pack to the massager. And I try a regimen of all these things to get through the night. Then the morning comes, I'll take my shower, and I feel better. I can move around. I can at least get through the day. But then 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock hits at night, I'm all done again. But yeah, it's funny because I've tried it. I have them all, and I try them all. Oh, I forgot the other thing I have, the inversion table. So I bought an inversion table on Amazon. Came last Wednesday, right? Everyone's telling me, do the inversion table, Jeff, do the inversion table. I got that. I've tried that. I will tell you, when I lay on it, it's like the hot tub. I do get some instant relief. I do definitely get some instant relief when I'm laying on the inversion table. It takes the pressure off. What's a shack patch? So I do use the inversion table, and it does give me instant relief. So that's been good, The temporary relief is nice just to know, hey, there is a way of getting temporary relief. And I think that's why I don't take the meds, because I know, look, if it gets to that point, I'll go lay in the inversion table or I'll go jump in the hot tub. Funny hot tub story. Icy cold patch. So the cold patch has been the best. That's what I do fall asleep. So I'll put the patch on my back, on my lower back, where I have all the knots, and I'll lay on that. And then I can fall asleep. Of course, then I'll wake up a couple hours later, but at least I can get a couple hours sleep. So yes, make money. The cold patch has been, so far, the best solution for that. But yeah, I will not take the pain meds. I won't take the pain meds. Look, I don't like being high in any way at all. Okay. People ask me, I'm 57, right? People say, hey, did you ever smoke pot? Yeah, I smoked pot. I smoked pot December 17th, 1997. Right? Actually, it was December 12th. How do I know that? Well, it was the night that my nightclub opened, and they were all celebrating, passing a joint around. And I walked out there, and they passed it to me. 1997. Okay? True story. Not that I'm against it. I'm not against it. I have people that grow in some of my buildings legally, and unfortunately, I've caught some doing it illegally, so I'm not against it. Just for me, I don't like the feeling of being high. So using ice machine, yeah, so the ice seems to be the best solution. So tomorrow, it's going to be interesting what the physical therapy does for me as far as the exercises and what I need to do. But like right now, I'm touching a huge knot in my back. Huge knot. Now, I'll put the massager on later on when I'm sitting on the couch, and that will help. But it's been awful. It's been awful. And the problem with me is I'm active. I got a lot to do. I got to get here. I got to go there. And this really does slow me down. It really does. So, it circulates ice cold water to a pad. Oh, really? That's cool. An ice machine. Oh, I'm gonna have to look into that. That's cool. Yep. So somebody had recommended yoga to me. Ram 60131. Somebody did recommend the yoga to me. And Ninja Mom, I appreciate that. I really do. All right, Amazon. I will look on Amazon. I definitely will. Oh, that's the other thing I have too. That's right. I got the electronic, the TENS machine, right? Where they put the probes on you, and it kind of gives you the little electric shocks. I try that because I had gone to a chiropractor once, and they had one. But I don't think that really does it for me either. Yeah, see, that's the problem. I don't want pain meds. I already take enough meds for my diabetes. I do not want to take any meds, Here's the problem. I remember when I first got diabetes, we're talking 8 years ago, right? So I'm on all these meds, and I had to take another med. And this med was to help my liver, so the other meds didn't do anything to my liver. I was like, what the F, right? Come on, right? So that's why I rather not take the meds. I really rather not. Anyway, so somebody's asking what's happening. So yeah, so what happened there, Kurt's girl? I'm having this crazy back pain and leg pain. So I had sciatica 4 years ago. I had sciatica in my left leg, right? And I went to physical therapy and it worked, but it was just in my left leg. It was just it's nothing like what I have now. First of all, I didn't feel anything in my back. It was just in my leg. This is my back. My lower back is killing me. And my whole right leg all the way down to my foot, I feel it at the bottom of my foot. It pulses, I do drive an SUV. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I do. I drive, they say a Nacho Bel Grande for the pain. You might be right. That's funny. But yeah, it's so not that I don't want to come on TikTok and complain about my pain all the time, because obviously, but as you know, I share my life experiences. So this is just part of what's going on between opening up the ice cream shop. That's one thing I got going on. I just bought a new piece of property last week. I was talking about that. That's what's going on. We just finished, actually, we're in the process. Tomorrow I'll go and do a video, a photo about it. Of a house that we're just finishing up that I'm putting on the market to sell. I'll do a walkthrough in that house because that's going on the market this week. It is okay to share. I don't mind sharing my experiences. I have nothing to hide, nothing personal. Why not? So, that's good to know. So here's what I'm doing. Tomorrow I'm going to that good chiropractor on Post Road, if you want to tell me her name. What's happening is I'm going to physical therapy tomorrow, but yeah, I might end up going to a chiropractor as well because I got to deal with this right away. I got to deal with it. I got to move on. Oh, wow. So you went to chiropractor, they broke your back. Well, that's too bad. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, you got to be careful, I guess, who you go to. But this one, it's one on Post Road. So what it is I just have some muscle problems. Now, it came out of the blue. I didn't do anything. I didn't, this is not a football injury or something like that. All of a sudden, I woke up with this pain, and it's getting worse. That's all. You're taking back opening windows every day. Well, yeah, I guess so. That's the other thing too, right? Depends what you're doing. See, for me, I figure more exercise I get, the better it is for me, right? The more exercise. That's what I thought. So like today, I did a lot of exercise today. I was moving sound equipment around down at Bryant at Special Olympics. So I thought that would be good. But they're telling me it's muscle problems. So, yeah, you want to do business 30 years. So obviously, they've been in business 30 years. They're doing something right? So that's for sure. Why sell and not add to your report? Because these are single-family flip houses. So the houses that I'm selling right now, I sold one 3 weeks ago, was a single-family. So besides my rental portfolio, I also do flip houses, right? So the one I'm selling this week is a single-family house. It's not far from me, about a mile from my house, not even 3/4 of a mile. This is a house that I specifically bought to renovate, remodel, and sell as a flip house. I bought it at the auction, and we just got done remodeling it and selling. So now, that being said, last week I bought a 6-unit that I'm adding to my rental portfolio. So I do both. I add to my rental portfolio. I just bought this 6-unit last week, and I'm also just continuing to do the flip houses. The flip houses are nice, obviously, because it's nice cash flow, right? You buy the house, you renovate it, you sell it, you get a nice big chunk of money. So that's why the flip houses are nice, and it keeps my guys working. The rental portfolio is nice because that's long term, right? Someday I'm not going to want to do the flip houses. I'm just going to want to just continue renting, right? So that's what I do. That's what's worked for me. May not work for everybody else. There's some people that just do flip houses. They don't want to have a rental portfolio. A lot of the guys that go to the auction don't have a rental portfolio like I have. They rather just buy, flip, and that's all they do. For me, I do both. I buy the single families and I flip them, and I also buy for my rental portfolio. So, yeah, so going to pool doesn't look near ocean. So the ocean for me right now, of course, I'm in Cranston, so we're probably talking a couple miles to Walwick, right? It's a little cold right now. So I do have a pool right there. Obviously, the cover's still on it. And, of course, I have my hot tub, which I have shown people my hot tub. In fact, let me see. Can I take this? Listen, I was going to shake a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so, yeah, there it is right there. That's my hot tub. That's the hot tub right there. That's the cover. It has an electronic cover. It lifts up. The cover lifts up, and then I go inside. So that's my hot tub. Oh, I was going to tell the hot tub story. So we've had the hot tub year and a half. Thing works great. I keep it 100 degrees. I know some people like 102. It's a little too hot for me. I don't even like, not that I don't like, because I do put the jets on once in a while, but I like just going in the warm water, the hot water. So the story is this, right? The other night, last week, I was in excruciating pain. So I said, okay, I gotta go in the hot tub. So I lift the cover up, I jump in. Woohoo, it was freezing. What happened was the circuit breaker, the ground fault circuit breaker, had tripped for some reason, first time in a year and a half. And the temperature dropped down to I was like 78. So because it was off like a day, and I didn't know it. So anyway, I reset it. It's been fine since. But anyway, so that's what happened there. But I keep it 100 degrees. I keep it 100 degrees. Hey, you went for ice cream today in Maine? They had a drive-through car line. It was crazy. So, it's interesting. I thought about a drive-through, and there is a drive-through ice cream shop. The problem with that is this, right? Ice cream takes a while to make. It's not quick. Yeah, that did wake me up. It was cold. I literally, because when I'm in pain, I want to get in the hot tub as quick as possible. So that's what happened. I jumped out as quick as I jumped in. Yeah, I have shrinkage in the hot tub. So you know what the worst part about it? So listen, this has been going on all winter, right? So there was snow. There was a foot of snow. We had that bad storm. There was a foot and a half of snow on the ground, and I was going in the hot tub, right? I was running outside. Everyone laughed at me in the house. I'd run outside, and the cover in the hot tub, it's electronic, it's electric. It goes up like an elevator. So it takes a few seconds. It takes like 20 seconds. So you're standing in the cold while it's opening up. It's not one of those ones that flips over, right? So the worst part is if you have a bathing suit on, right, and you get out. That's the worst part, because the cold of the bathing suit on your legs, that's freezing. That's the worst part. Other than that, I love it. And I don't mind getting out. I get out. I actually... I get out, I'll dry off real quick, and I run in the house and get dressed. But anyway, so that's the story of that. But we bought the hot tub. Obviously, we bought it for more of in the summer pleasure and this and that. But it really, medically, physically, has really helped me out get through this last month. It really has. The cover on the hot tub I found on TikTok. That's really funny. Before I even was providing content on TikTok or sharing my messages on TikTok, I was on TikTok, right, thumbing through, looking at everything else that everyone looks at, right? And every once in a while, some people say, here's something my house has that I wish every house had, something like that, whatever they say, or something special my house has. These people bragging about their house. Well, these people were bragging about their hot tub cover, and it was a really cool hot tub cover. And what it is it lifts up. It's an electric hot tub cover. It lifts up, and it looks like a gazebo when it's open. So that's what mine does. And I found it on TikTok. I Googled it, searched it, researched it, found a local company that was a dealer for it, and I got it, And but I've been using it every day. I was in there last night. It gives me enough relief to bring me back down to zero, where I start over again, So anyway, so that's the story with that. But yeah, so to answer the other person's question, I do add to my rental portfolio as much as I do in my flip houses, which has been good. Staffing issues. Somebody asked about staffing issues. Staffing issues is still tough as far as carpenters, plumbers, electricians. That's still tough. I will tell you, if you are an electrician or if you don't know a trade to go into, become a carpenter, become an electrician, become a plumber. That no one is going into that trade, and what that's going to do is the supply and demand. It's only going to get worse. The prices they charge are going to get greater, and if you have some children that don't know what they're doing, I'll tell you something. First of all, plumbers, electricians can make as much as doctors now. Can make as much as doctors, $75, $100 an hour. Okay, that's just, it is what it is. It's life right now. It's reality. It's a great trade to go into. It's a career. It's a long-term career. It's a future. It's a great way of raising a family, making $100 an hour. And I'm not kidding. So I suggest that to people. Here in Arizona, they have hot tubs that cool the water. Yeah, I believe it. So they're cool tubs. So Todd, you've been a plumber 31 years. So I have a ton of respect for plumbers, electricians, any tradespeople, okay? And Todd, I hope I don't insult you or anybody like in the trade, but it's unfortunate that the government 15, 20 years ago did this no student left behind, and they started pushing everybody towards school, towards education, and away from the trades. The trades is where it's at. You always are going to need a plumber. We always need plumbers. We always need electricians. There's always going to be building, always going to be maintenance, always going to be repairs. And I think people looked down on those trades, looked down on it. Why? Because you're dealing with sewage. Hey, that sewage pays $100 an hour now, okay? Repairing a toilet, replacing it pays a lot of money. So for me, it's about the money. For me, when I look at a business, of course, I wouldn't be in the trash business, right? If I was ignorant or vain, I wouldn't be in the trash business. So the thing is, you've got to look at it from a money point of view, a success point of view, and I believe that. Right now, if somebody doesn't have any idea what they want to do in life, become a plumber, an electrician, and you will be set for life. Even now, some people don't know what they want to do, so they'll go into the Army, the Navy, they'll go into armed services, and which is great because they're serving our country, right? Well, even there, you can pick, the area of that you want to learn, right? So some people pick small engine repair, whatever it may be, or diesel engine mechanic. Another great career, diesel engine mechanic, right? So there are, I do, Todd, I'm telling you, trade school. This bullshit of, there are so many computer programmers out there, so many gaming programmers out there. Some people go into business, go in business school, go into note school, just student left behind. No, the trade school is where it's at. Okay. So it makes money. You're absolutely right. That's a whole nother story. That's what bothers me. So there are a lot of people out there that don't have a plumber's license, electrician license, but they have the skill set. They have the skills. They have the knowledge, the common sense. So when you're a tradesman, a lot of it is common sense, and learning the basics and going on from there. But the thing is that, there are so many people that can just have the knowledge, just learn those skills, and it will take you a long way. You did the Army before becoming a plumber. See, how did I didn't know, right? It just kind of, to me, and the reason I say that is because if somebody doesn't have the money to go to school, to a trade school, obviously you go in the Army, and that gives you the money to go to the school. But yeah, I really do think that the trades right now are really the guaranteed future income, guaranteed. The ones that go to college, I don't know what I want to do. Well, there's no guarantee there, right? But I'm going to be a plumber. I'm going to be an electrician. I'm going to be an HVAC technician. Those are guaranteed, right? I'm going to be a diesel mechanic. That's guaranteed income right now. That's your only guarantee. When I talk about Jeff Never job security, that's job security right there. That is job security. The skills. So for instance, for me, okay, so now I know electrical. I know electrical just from my experience. I know plumbing. Why? Just because of my experience. I can plumb a whole house if I needed to, knowing the code. I know the electrical code. I can do it. I can do my own house legally, but I'm not allowed because I don't have a license. I cannot go do one of my properties that I own. I have to hire a licensed plumber, electrician to pull a permit and do it the right way, though I have the knowledge. Having the knowledge, though, helped me. helps me because I know if I'm getting bullshitted by somebody, if they're doing it the wrong way, I can walk into a house and I can see if they're plumbing it the wrong way, or they're running electricity the wrong way, or if they're costing me too much money. Electricians tend to do these home run circuits all the way back to the panel, which you don't have to do. Sorry, I got to fix my iPad. It's tilting. I don't know why. So anyway, so at least with me having the knowledge, and you know what? When I hire people, they think I'm stupid, I'm ignorant. I just had to, unfortunately, I had to let somebody go, an HVAC person. And what happened was we installed it was simple system. It was a 2.5-ton system for a 1-room space with 4 takeoffs over 4 weeks there. Now, I've had them done in a week before. A lot of them done a week before. So that's the problem. I know how long it takes to do a job. I know how long it takes to wire a house, how long it takes to put hardwired smoke COs in, to put a fire alarm system in. I program the fire alarm system. So I have all that information, that knowledge. I'm not a know-it-all, but it's enough information for me to know whether my employees or subcontractors, because I use a lot of subcontractors, are bullshitting me or doing the right thing. So, yeah, so here's the story about that. Becoming an electrician or a plumber is hard work. You got the apprenticeship, right? Then you got the journeyman, right? Then you have to be journeyman. Rhode Island, it's very tough. Rhode Island's tough on everything. It's tough on small business. Rhode Island's very tough. But yeah, it's to become an electrician or a plumber in Rhode Island, it's almost tougher to become, tougher than becoming a doctor. Longer years, so it's crazy. It really is crazy. But the you know what it was though? There were I just saw a comment that actually brings up a good point. There was a time, and there still is a time. Again, there are bad people that ruin it for good people, right? So yeah, you're gonna have a bad plumber out there taking advantage, screwing people. Bad electrician taking advantage, screwing people. Absolutely. But there are good people out there, and you gotta weed through the bad ones to get to the good ones, right? Same thing with me. I'm using an excellent architectural firm right now, right? But I had to weed through 2 bad ones to get to this good one, right? And it sucks because I wasted some money, which I'm going after now. Oh, my friend's calling me. He must not realize I'm on TikTok, so I'll call him back after. So same thing, right? Bad people ruin it for the good people, but there are good plumbers out there, good electricians, ethical, more. When I say bad, I'm not saying bad they do a bad job. I'm saying bad where you give them a deposit and they don't show up and finish the job. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? The best treats people are in jail. So, it's crazy because, make money. I'm going to tell you a story. I had a plumber working for me who is in jail right now. And this is a crazy story. Boy, he was excellent. He knew his craft. He knew his trade. But the problem is he had substance abuse problem, and he kept getting himself in trouble. And when he was out of jail, came back to work for me. He was working for me. He was working in a house. True story. He was in a house maybe about a year ago now, a year and a half ago. And the police went, raided the house, knocked and arrested him, dragged him out of the house. Whatever he did, on his off hours, he got himself in trouble again, and he's back in jail. But, and that's a shame because he knew his craft. He knew he definitely was a great plumber. And so you're right. Make money. I can't argue with that statement. Some of the best ones are in jail, but some of the best ones are out too, making money, treating people well, doing the right thing. You won't work service plumbing. You have a conscience. So, yeah, so it's unfortunate. Or Twin River. Well, I've talked about that. So I have such a hard time hiring plumbers, electricians, HVAC people, right? So I told you that makes money. That's funny because that's a true story. So I go to the casino, Twin River, once in a while. I've been known to visit the place or the establishment. I've been known to step foot in there once in a while. So I come out during the day, 11 in the morning, because I'll go there maybe at 10 o'clock, play blackjack for an hour or so. And I'll come back out at 11 o'clock, and in the sea of cars, they have a huge parking lot. There's a plumber's truck. There's an electrician's truck. There's an HVAC guy's truck. There's a carpenter's truck. Remodelers. I'm thinking, what the F? I can't hire anybody, and you're at the casino, which is a shame. Go to the casino at night, go on the weekend, work during the day, make some money. Now, I hate that attitude. Well, I made enough money. Or did they do the big score where they charged somebody 5 times over, they got the big score and they went and they just blew it at the casino? I don't know. You're looking to retire at 30. Hey, I got to tell you something. There are plumbers, right? They start a plumbing business, right? They have a good business mind. They hire other plumbers to work for them. And yeah, obviously they can sit back and relax and coast a little bit because they have other people doing the work for them. Why not? But that's why I'm talking about anybody on here. Look, there's parents that are on there, you have young kids, right? My kids, now my son he's going to turn 16 in August. My daughter's 13. They haven't decided what they're going to do yet, right? I'm letting them do what they want to do. I am not encouraging them, believe it or not, my wife and I talked about this, to go into my family business or the family business. The thought is let them have their own careers. Whatever it is, it's their choice. If they want to be a plumber, a doctor, electrician, nurse, pharmacist, whatever, I don't care. They do have to do something, though, either a trade school or a college. Have to, no doubt. I don't know if I want them to go into my business. The problem that you have in my cases, I always talk about parents setting an example, right? Set an example for your kids. Work hard, show them that you work hard, right? Well, my kids might look at me and say, you asshole, you work so hard. I'm not going to work as hard as you someday. So you don't know what kids are thinking, right? You just don't know. So you have to, you have to think of all of these things, but if they need to be steered in a direction, I would suggest a plumber or an electrician. Now, because I have a business sense, I would say become a licensed plumber, electrician, and maybe start your own business. That would be something that I would suggest to them. In their case, obviously, I have the real estate that they're going to end up with, probably, someday. They'll probably sell it all off and cash out. No, who knows, Yeah, Ben's going to open up Big Ben's ice cream shop. So my, funny about that is when I opened up my first ice cream shop, when I first bought Dear Hearts. Now, Dear Hearts, I did not name it Dear Hearts. I'm not really married to the name or really love the name. The problem is it was Dear Hearts for 20 years. So I did contemplate changing the name. So at the time, I was not married at the time. And the ice cream shop, I really did buy it for my parents to run because they were retiring. So my father's name is Ben and my mother's name is Terry. So I did think about naming it Ben and Terry's, but then I thought, am I going to get in trouble for that? And also, am I taking advantage, trying to take advantage of somebody else's fame and fortune and, play on words? So I didn't do Ben and Terry's. I also thought about Licks and Socks, and that was, people poo-pooed that on me too. So then I decided just keep it out, Dear Hearts, I thought Licks and Socks was pretty good for a name for an ice cream shop, right? That's what you do, right? You lick it and you suck on it. It's ice cream. So it's interesting because Emily, my daughter, 13, she was exposed to the audiovisual business today. I would say for the first time, where she actually went with me on an event, set up the sound equipment with me, the microphones. Really, here at the house we have the karaoke system and, we play around with the sound and music here at the house. But that was the first time she actually went to, saw. She's been to events that I've done before, but where she actually worked today was kind of cool, Of course, Benjamin works at the ice cream shop. And so they are exposed to the business a little bit. Emily used to, because I don't, Tim does it now, but she used to go around me to my buildings and empty the washers and dryers, the coins. Because I used to go like on a Sunday morning, I'd take a ride. Say, come on, take a ride with me and empty the washers, the coins and the washers and dryers. So she's done that with me before, But I think it's important for them to be exposed to a lot of different things to help them decide what they're going to do in the future. So, and by the way, that right there building with the light on, that right there, that's a tree house. It's literally built between those two trees. Okay, that's a tree house, and you can't see it, but it has a 100-foot zip line that goes to another tree. I didn't build that house. That house was here when we bought the house in 2004. The previous owners built it, and it's really nice. And it's built like a brick house. Okay, it's sturdy, that tree house. and it is built between the two trees. It's supported on columns and footings on the ground, but it's built between the two trees. I just wanted to mention that because I think you can see it. I ran the electricity to it when we put the pool in. We had the ground torn up. I ran power to it, and that's why there's a light on it. It lights up the backyard, and I have a light shooting down the zip line so the kids can use it at night if they wanted to. So that's what that is, by the way, just so you know. So that's why you can see the light. The light shines down the zip line. Yeah, I could rent it to Brian. So, yeah, no, the kids like it. It's fun, it's fun. So, well, I will tell you is this. So when we bought the house, you couldn't see it. It was overgrown. There was a lot of bushes and trees and shrubs around it. My kids were little. It was too dangerous for them to go into it till about 8 years ago. 8 years ago, we cleared the land. I fixed it. I actually put stairs. They have stairs that go up into it because before it was a rope ladder. Very dangerous because the thing was 8 feet high. I didn't want them to fall, So we put stairs in. How many businesses do I run? So I have 4 businesses. I have the ice cream shops, 4 ice cream shops, Butler Waste, Audiovisual Services, and Elmwood Realty that I own. I used to run them all. I never really ran Butler Waste. I've always had people running that business since I started it. I just financed it. Audiovisual Services, I've always run that. But even now, that's being run by Mark and Joe, now that COVID's over. They really took over that business, and they're really running it. And Mike's helping them out, but they're really running the business. I'm not running the audiovisual business. I'm pretty much a daily consultant. They'll consult me on stuff, but they're running the business. Elmwood Realty, Andrew's running that business. Same thing. I'm a consultant. They'll ask me, what do you want to do here? What do you want to do there? But really, I'm more of a consultant. Tomorrow morning, I'm meeting my carpenters at a house that we're remodeling. And so what I do is I'll go there. I'll go through the remodel. Here's what I expect. Here's what I'm thinking. And I get them started. And that's pretty much it. Then they go and they run with it. They just finished the house last week. That's the one I'm going to do a video tomorrow and show you folks what's going on the market this week. So, hey, Chicken Bucket, how you doing tonight? So it sounds like I need another business to run. So it's funny you should mention that. Funny you should mention that. So as everyone knows, I just bought some property in Johnston that I'm going to be storing dumpsters on. But the property, coincidentally enough, comes with some tenants on the property, but it also comes with a car dealer's license. So yes, we are going to be opening up a used car dealership there. Not going to go crazy. Oh, this is great. Excuse me 1 second. Excuse me 1 second. So that was my hot tub person actually calling me because I wanted to have it serviced. It hasn't been serviced. We got it. So we have a free service coming. So I scheduled. He's just calling me to tell me he's coming tomorrow. So that's beautiful. So sorry about the delay anyway on that, but I wanted to just tell people what the story was on that. So anyway, where was I? What was I talking about? My pain is not better yet. I was talking about that earlier. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I do have physical therapy for the first time on this problem, and I'm hoping, that's why I keep moving around, by the way, just to kind of get in a different position. So it comes to the used car lot. That's what I was talking about. So Mike, who's been with me for 14 years now, Mike does special projects. He's going to be moving his office to the property. He's going to be managing that property I just bought because the property has some tenants on there now, unique tenants, which can't talk about yet. Once we get on the property, I'm going to be doing a whole series of TikToks. It's very interesting. There's some businesses operating, tenants on the property now that are operating businesses, unique businesses, and I know people find it fascinating. So we're going to talk about that. Mike is going to be the property manager on the property. One of the businesses, though, that I can't talk about is the used car business. So yes, we are going to expand that used car business. Again, I'm not going to be running it. I'm going to own it, but I have somebody else running that business. The problem that I have, and of course people keep bringing it up, and it is a concern, is labor, being able to hire labor. Am I going to be able to hire people to sell cars? I think maybe because right now with the car shortage out there, these regular car lots, you drive by them, there's hardly any cars there. There's no cars to sell. So where are those salespeople? So I don't think it'll be a problem finding a salesperson. But just in moving forward in general and different, I always have business ideas. The problem is you can't run a business without good employees. So that's the big thing, being able to find employees. That's the biggest problem. So I talk about business, and I was talking about the ice cream shops earlier, and somebody asked me yesterday on TikTok, is there that much money, that much profit in ice cream? So it's not that there's a lot of profit. But there is profit. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing it, right? There is profit. The profit's usually about the same every year. It goes up a little bit here and there, but but here's my thought on it. Anybody can own a small business, an ice cream shop, family operated business. I talk about my friend who owned a Chinese restaurant. She bought a Chinese restaurant. She ran the Chinese restaurant, I think 8 years. She bought it with the sole purpose, A, to give her kids jobs while they were in school, and B, to pay for their college. Once the last one graduated from college, she sold the ice cream shop. She sold the Chinese restaurant. What a great business model. What a great business plan. I did not know that till after the fact, after she sold it. We were talking about it one day. No student loans. Her kids worked there. That gave them money that gave them money for college. They went to college, and the business paid for college. So that's why I look at people, families, small families that want to own something. An ice cream shop is a nice business to own. You're not going to get rich on it, but what it does is it gives your kids a place to work in the summer. It gives them an opportunity to make some money. You, as the owner, get the satisfaction of owning the business. And if you do keep your expenses down, you can make some money. That's why I'm opening another one, not because I'm losing money. Again, though, to me, it's a part-time investment job. School teacher, right? You're a school teacher in the winter, maybe you own an ice cream shop in the summer, something like that. That's why I always give this information out, because anybody can have it. It's not easy. I'm not going to tell people it's easy, because it's not. It's still running a business. I talked about this the other day. Just opening the business, I had 7 inspections, right? Then I had a division of taxation issue. I had to get down to the division of taxation and figure out why I was missing a document, a form. So you have that back. It's not just the scooping the ice cream. It's paying the taxes. It's filing the forms. It's doing the payroll. It's paying for your insurance. It's ordering the ice cream. It's all of that. So when people think, oh yeah, it's easy, just stand there and scoop ice cream, just people ice cream cone. Absolutely not. You still have to pay your taxes. Health department, you have to make sure the place is clean. So there is a lot involved, but it's a great business. It's still a great business to be in. See how it's gotten dark while the sun's gone down while we've been on. That's why hey, that's funny. Look at that. You can see my reflection of me and my iPad, and that's kind of freaky, isn't it? In the window. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try something. There we go. And there goes my iPad again. I got to fix this up. This is not going to work for me. If I'm going to be out here doing my TikToks, I cannot have this sagging. There we go. Well, that's better. So anyway, and I got rid of I should have done this a long time ago. But yeah, so I definitely have more than enough businesses to run. My plan is to have young people run my businesses for me. So as I get older, the young people can continue running the businesses. Then I can decide what I want to do with the businesses later on. When I'm done with them. But right now, it's nice to have the young people running my businesses. Let's see. See, your son had a teacher that taught and then an ice cream shop in the summer. So yeah, hey, so coincidentally, very coincident, my accountant, my CPA, he actually owns an ice cream shop. I didn't know it until I hired him as my CPA. His wife runs his ice cream shop for him, but he's a CPA, right? So full time. So, and by the way, you can talk ice cream shop, you can talk pizza place. There are little small businesses, right? Yogurt, smoothies, right? Any of those things, right? type of business. Just something. But here's the problem. The problem is that you got to pick the right location. You got to keep your expenses down. You got to make it work for you. How many special tenants does the new place have? So what it is so this is it's 9 acres of land, okay? And there's multiple businesses on that 9 acres. The business, the 9 acres used to be, it used to be a junkyard, salvage yard, where you went and got parts for your cars. It used to be that. It's not that anymore. So, but that's why it has the used car license. But there's also now, because it's not a used car lot, they use it, it's not a junkyard anymore. They use it for other things, which that's what I'll be able to share with you guys. One of the things I plan on doing with it, which I will tell you, is I am going to be putting solar panels on the land. But I'm not just putting solar panels on the ground. I'm doing carport solar panels, so they're up high. That way you can use underneath the solar panels. So that's another thing I'm doing. Oh, too many pizza places in Rhode Island. You're not kidding. You are not kidding me, make money. I use the pizza place as an example only because there are people outside of Rhode Island watching me. But yes, you are right. There's a pizza place on every single corner in Rhode Island. So the reason why the pizza place, and we're going to use that as an analogy right now, right? There's so many pizza places. So now you have a pizza place down the street, right? So now you open up one down the street. Now what you do? You split the pizza pie in half, right? Now one opens up down the street. Now you split it in four. So I agree with you. Makes money. There are too many pizza places. So here's the problem. When I say location, you want to pick a place. For instance, I live in Western Cranston. I would love to own an ice cream shop down the street from my house, but there's no reason for me to. There's one in Western Cranston, Sundays, who does a very good job, an excellent ice cream shop. I'm sure there are people that are watching me right now that go to Sundays. I'm not saying don't go to Sundays. And Sunday does a nice job. They do what I do at my ice cream shops. It's the same thing, because ice cream shops is pretty much local, right? They're local neighborhood type of business, right? But so yeah, that's why, what am I do? Open up right down the street from Sundays and split the crowd in half? Why would I do that? That doesn't make sense. I will tell you a story, though. My ice cream shop that's in Warwick on West Shore Road, if anybody lives near there and you're following me and you're watching me, the West Shore Road ice cream shop across the street is a Chinese restaurant called the Islander. Next to the Islander is a breakfast place now, but it wasn't. That was built 25 years ago as a Dairy Queen. It opened up across from my ice cream shop. Now, I didn't know my ice cream. My ice cream shop was Kay's. Way back when, it was called Kay's, the one that is on West Shore Road. Across the street from Kay's, they built a Dairy Queen. The Dairy Queen lasted 6 months and went out of business. Kay's lasted and stayed there. Kay's then eventually sold to somebody else, and they had some health problems and closed for 2 seasons, and I ended up buying the business, and I opened it back up as a Deer Hearts in 2004. But yeah, what happened was the Kay's little mom and pop family-owned ice cream shop put the Dairy Queen out of business. So that was pretty good. They held their own. Yeah, junkyards are very profitable. So it's not a junkyard anymore. It does, they stopped being a junkyard years ago, but the property is profitable with the tenants that are on it. Yeah, Butler apart, pick and pull. I used to love pick and pull. So my very first car was a Gremlin. The old Gremlin, the AMC or GMC Gremlin. The Gremlin X, the ugliest yellow car you would ever have seen in your life, right? But I used to love going to pick and pull. There was a pick and pull in Coventry, Finn's. I remember the name of it, Finn's. And I used to go there to buy all kinds of parts for my car, and I fixed up that car, and I made that Gremlin. 16 years old, I had the hottest Gremlin X out there. I think it was the only one, but it was the hottest Gremlin out there. Oh, you had a Pacer. Isn't that funny? So the Pacer and the Gremlin was the same. Was they built on the same platform? I don't know cars that well, but I believe they were the same chassis, right? The Pacer. And the Pacer was funny because it used to be lifted up high, right? It was a high car, if I remember right. But that is so funny. That is so funny. But yeah, I like pick and pull. And I pull it. I pull it when you pick it. I pick and pull. So. Yeah, Pacer was a bubble car. It did. It looks like a bubble. They were before their time. Boy, between the Pacer and the Gremlin, what ugly cars. And the only other car they owned was Jeep, right? They owned Jeep at the time, and that was their success story, right? And they had the stupid Pacer and the Gremlin. But yeah, that was my very first car. It was a hand-me-down from my brother. In fact, it was a yellow car, but the right fender was black because my brother had gotten in an accident once, and he went to the junkyard and got a black fender. So that's how I inherited it. Of course, I went to Home Depot. Actually, there wasn't Home Depot back then. I think, where did I go? I bought some yellow paint, and I painted it yellow with a brush just to make it look better. You know? Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, Dodge Duster. Yeah, those were the days, huh? Back then. That is so funny. So, gremlins are sweet. I don't know, Chicken Bucket. I don't know. My gremlin, that car, oh, boy, I'll tell you. But I used to go, like I said, I used to go to the pick and pull. It was so much fun, you know? It was so much fun. Slant Six, yeah, Slant Six, you're right. So, but yeah, so that's funny. People talk about their old cars that they had, and it's true, you know. My second car, what the hell was my second car? I can't remember my second. I had that Gremlin so many years, you know. I think my second car was a Datsun. It was a Datsun, a little two-door Datsun. I can't remember the model, but it was a Datsun. If you guys remember Datsun, you know. So your first car was an 82 Chevette. Yeah, see? So, and I graduated from high school in 82. So, but, so yeah, so I had a Datsun was my second one. And then I had a van. So I had bought a van because I was disc jockey at the time. So I needed a van, right? So I drove on a van. Oh, you were born in 88. Chicken Bucket was born in 88 and had an 82. So Chicken Bucket, a lot younger than I am. But good for you. Good for you. But you had the 82 car. Yeah, that's right. The car in the police academy. Yep. Born in 81, Ninja Mama 81. So think about it. You were born in 81. I was a junior in high school at the time when you were born, you know. Honda Civic. Yeah, Honda Civic, you know. 34. Wow. Ben Butt, your first car was so Ben Butt's car, his first of all, was a 34 Ford. Yeah, they still towed those with horses. It was a Ford horse and buggy. But anyway, yeah, so it's interesting that, you start out with your cars. So that's what I was talking about. So, you know, my son Benjamin's going to be getting his license, hopefully, probably August, September, because I can't wait. So that way he can drive Emily around. I won't have to drive him around anymore, right? This is great. I can't wait. So I already kind of know what his first car is going to be. He's going to get one of my 2010 Priuses. I'll just take it out of the inventory and give him one of those to drive around in because it's old enough at that time, 12 years old. And so if he bangs around, scratches around, who cares, right? And it also gets 52 miles to the gallon, so he's not putting all of his gas. So that was the problem, too. You know, all of us that are talking about the old cars, right? What was happening back then? All of us, right? Even though the price of gas was cheaper back then, right? 29 cents, 59 cents, wherever it was, we still were putting our whole paycheck into the gas tank every month, right? The Gremlin it was a gas guzzler. You know, all these cars were gas guzzlers back then. And so at least this way, he'll have a car that's getting 52 miles to the gallon, so he's not putting his whole paycheck in there. 72 Datsun yellow station wagon. Oh, that's a nice car. See, why don't they have retro cars, right? Make them all electric, right? Come back with all the retro cars, right? But the only difference now is they're all electric. That's funny. Yeah, you'll see if you get 34 Ford. So where is it? In the garage somewhere? The Ford Escort. Yugo. So yeah, the Yugo. What was the other one? Well, you're funny about the Ford Escort, the Yugo. What was the one that was like almost looked like a Jeep? Remember that one too? There was I forget who made it, but it almost looked like a Jeep. Samurai? I can't remember. But yeah, the Yugo. Remember the Yugo? So, but yeah, I just remember, like I said, my throwing the gas into my everywhere I was going, gas. So Chevy Chevette. Oh, Suzuki Samurai. That's it. That's the one I was thinking about. Yeah, remember the Suzuki Samurai? That was another one, right? What happened to that car? It looked like a Jeep. It was like narrower and, you know, Suzuki Samurai. That's why it's funny when you think about all the old cars, you know. Has anybody seen, I asked this the last time, has anybody seen Who Killed the Electric Car? The documentary, Who Killed the Electric Car? I'm just curious. Yeah, safety. Well, yeah, obviously they'd have to modernize, the chassis and actually put seatbelts in them. I remember the old joke. Who was it? The old joke about in the old days, right? They didn't have seatbelts. You're in the back seat. You're on the vinyl seat, right? And people go around the corner. You just slide back and forth on the back seat. The old station wagons, the old big giant cars, the old Buicks. Right, my father had a Buick, and I remember sitting in the back seat and go around the corner. You would just slide back and forth on the final seat, Hey, you're also a landlord and also a butler. That's cool. The Buick Skylark, the Buick Skylark. My father had a Buick Electra. I don't know how the heck I remember these things. Buick Electra, and like I said, you slide back and forth in the back seat. So. Oh, the Volkswagen Beetle. That you're absolutely. That was great on gas. I think that was one of the best ones on gas back then. I remember in high school, my friend Lisa had a Beetle. And that used to be a fun car to drive in. It used to be a fun car to drive in. So the Beetle was a good one. A good gas mileage. The engine was in the rear. Let's see who's this. Hey, Colmex, thank you very much for loving my content. I appreciate that. Why don't electric car companies use alternators in their cars? Is that a joke or is that serious? I don't think they need an alternator, right? Because it's electric, right? It just starts right up and goes. So I don't think it needs an alternator. That's the good news. That was a TikTok I did last week. I don't know if anybody saw it. I pulled my Tesla into the garage for Butler Waste, and I told the mechanic I was there for an oil change. And he actually took a double take. He wasn't sure if I was serious or not, but it doesn't take oil. So, so Amanda, just call the office. Just call the office because they're not always posted online because we have such a waiting list. If you call the office for the 4-bedroom house and just talk to Jasmine, and she'll talk to you. And I thought that's what I told you. My mistake if I didn't. But yeah, what happens is the properties that we have change every day now because we're remodeling apartments. So as an apartment gets remodeled, we post it up available. And then the apartments. So that's why I always tell people call the office because it changes daily. I don't think so. I think because we were cleaning up and remodeling it, and so I don't think so. Plus, not only that, we have another one. Some people moved out of. Like I said, things change every day. So it makes money. You do not think electric cars are. You don't think they're the future. So what are you thinking? Are you thinking something else like a hydrogen? I know people talk about hydrogen cars. Alexa's talking to me now in the rest of the room. Hey, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on one second. Let me turn this light on. Just turn this light on. There we go. I have a lamp in the room. There we go. It gets dark in the room, So I added a lamp, some nice ambient light. Why is it so bright, though? Oh, that's much better. There we go, mood lighting. So anyway, you know what it was? Because the sun went down, so it's so bright. Anyway, yes. So you're right. Funny you should mention that. So my Tesla last week had 3 updates. So the way it works is it takes about 15 minutes to do an update. So the car you keep in the garage, you actually have the garage on the Wi-Fi in the house. It's on the house Wi-Fi. And what happens is they will notify me that there's an update available. And it says it takes 15 minutes to do. So I usually do them at night, midnight. I'm sleeping, let it do its update. The thing is that every time it does an update, some of them are major updates. It changes the whole dashboard. Now I have to learn the layout of the dashboard. I have to learn the whole thing. So some of the updates are annoying, but the car is always up to date. It's constantly, up to date, the software. So that's a good thing. But yeah, no, there's updates almost every week with the Tesla. They're literally almost every week there's an update, a software update. It's kind of like the iPhones, how they update. It's the same, similar thing, The thing about the electric cars, you're just saying about you don't think they're the thing of the future makes money, is it's kind of weird because obviously you're still gonna have trucks. You're still gonna have trucks that use diesel. I don't see electric trucks being something in the future. If it is, it's years and years down the line. I know Tesla's working on it, but think about these 18-wheelers, how much power they need and this and that. So I don't see that. How about this one for you? I got a question for you. Electric planes. Do you think electric planes are in the future? That's my question. I'm saying, every once in a while, my car reboots itself. What if you're in a plane that reboots itself, right? I have to tell you, though, if you guys get a chance, watch the documentary, Who Killed the Electric Car. Try to find it. It's very interesting. It's about all the car companies who, 20 years ago, literally 20 years, not that long ago, late 90s, started working on developing electric cars. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, yeah, drone planes, but I'm talking about planes with 180 passengers on them. Out of the blue, they stopped making these electric cars. They took them all back. They crushed them. They canceled. Then all of a sudden, here comes Elon Musk with Tesla. Of course, he's not beholden to oil companies. He's not doing any business with oil companies. And he starts building the Tesla. And now look, now we have electric cars coming out. All the companies are all developing electric cars. So what's the difference today than 20 years ago? What is the difference today and 20 years ago? Bobby Rhode Island. He owns a banquet hall, too. Who owns a banquet hall? Bobby Rhode Island. Who owns a banquet hall? Yeah. I wouldn't fly an electric plane. No. I mean, I fly my electric drone, which is fine. But, yeah, I agree with you. Who would fly an electric plane? That's crazy, So tomorrow's Monday. I do these TikToks on Sunday nights. It's kind of a distraction for me because tomorrow's Monday, and I know it's going to be a stressful day tomorrow. I have to meet my carpenters at 7 o'clock in the morning, get them started on the new property. And then 11 o'clock, I have the physical therapy. So that's good. Let's see. Let me... Oh, yeah, no, I don't own a banquet hall. That's one thing I don't own is a banquet hall. I don't know why he thought I owned a banquet hall. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Let me look at my questions again. Go back to my questions. So I do keep it real, tell it how it is. I know somebody's just saying you keep it real, tell it how I do. I had somebody on there saying, boy, I was talking about the bank fees, right? And the guy wrote on my TikTok comment, he wrote, all you have is nothing but problems. So obviously he doesn't get it, right? He doesn't get it. No, it's not about problems. I was just sharing bank fee information, you stupid, ignorant ass wipe on a Sunday troll. You know what I'm saying? So here's the problem, like bakery, banquet hall, what do you need for those things? Staff. Right now, I had a business opportunity cross my desk 2 weeks ago. A really good business opportunity. And I'm thinking to myself, do I really want to get into another business? And I really would like this business because this business would complement my audiovisual business. And the problem is that the reason why I'm not acting on it yet is staff. I have to do some more research to see if I can find staff to manage this business. Now, here's the problem with a lot of business owners right now. They're old school. They're cheapskates. They will not adapt. Since COVID, you cheapskate business owners out there, you have to pay more to your employees. To get better employees, to keep your employees, you have to pay more. It is what it is. It's just the reality of the situation. So my attitude is, if I have to pay more, let me start another business, let me find more business, let me grow my business so I have the money to pay my staff more. So that's my mentality. That's kind of the idea, the approach I take. Anyway, I have this business opportunity that came across my desk. I really would like to do it, something I always wanted to do, but I'm worried about having the staff. So that's the thing. So this week, I'm going to do some research on whether I can get staff for this business. If I can, then you guys will be hearing about another business I'm starting. Again, it won't be one that I'm running. It's one that I love consulting. I can get somebody to run it. I can manage it with them. I can consult with them. I can give them ideas. In this particular case, it would work well with my audiovisual business. But again, the problem is if I can't get the staff, it's a bad business move for me to open up a business if I can't get staff. So that's the problem right now is staffing. But again, You're going to pay more, right? I'm paying more to my coppers. I'm paying more to my electricians, my plumbers. You got to pay more. We have to. That's the reality of it. And the people that don't, well, you guys are going to be the ones that suffer and go out of business. So that's going to be an interesting. I would say that's what you're going to see differently now is people changing jobs. Well, they are. People are already changing jobs now. Why? They're going for more money, whether we want to admit it, I could be the nicest guy in the world, right? Nicest guy in the world. Of course, I'm not, but I could be the nicest guy in the world as an employer. But people are not chasing that. There's some people, want to work for nice people. They want to work in a nice, pleasant atmosphere, no stress. But a lot of them are looking for just the money. It's all about the money, right? It's the money. I'm raising a family. It's about the money. So, Butler or robot, especially in Rhode Island. Especially in Rhode Island, what, Amanda, what are you saying? I must have missed something. Oh. Yeah, no, I don't have a banquet hall in Rhode Island. I don't have a banquet hall. But anyway, let me go back to my questions. Oh, yeah, see that? So, okay, so this person here was saying that they went for a commercial loan. They had their attorney look over the docs. The bank was trying to charge you $10,000. So that's very important, okay? If you're going to go get a loan, have your attorney look, spend the money, have your attorney look over the docs, save yourself thousands. I know people, it's going to cost me $500. No, it's going to save you. In this case, it saved this person $10,000, right? So that's what your attorney's for. Your attorney's there to protect you, pay your attorney. That's why that was a very good comment this person said. I had my attorney look over the docs. The bank was trying to screw them out of $10,000. It kills me, these people that will not pay an attorney for advice. I have an opportunity to buy a piece of property in Cranston, but the deed is a little weird on the property. The title's a little weird. It's a great opportunity, but it was almost too good to be true. So I gave it to my lawyer on Friday. I said, Steve, could you please have a title search done? So I'm going to pay for a title search, $350, $400, whatever it is, because I want to know what I'm getting, right? What I'm going to be offering on. So it's important to do that stuff. And people, let's see. Oh, I have a clean record, but just a question, laugh out loud. Amanda, what's your question? What are your thoughts on renting to ex-convicts that have treated? Oh, no, I rent to ex-convicts. I mean, so here's a story that I've talked about this many, many times. I also employ ex-convicts, right? If the person's turned themselves around, and this stuff is like in the past, not an issue. I don't judge. If somebody's going to court and they were judged by a court of law and they went to jail and did their time or whatever, probation, whatever it was, right? Home confinement, I don't care. If they served their sentence, fine with me. I'm good with that, okay? Now you come to work for me. Look, okay, this job is your job to keep, to lose, it's up to you, whether I know your history or not. So no, I have no problem with that. Same thing when I rent to people. Now, it depends on what the crime was. Pedophiles, obviously, I can't rent to, especially if there's other families in the building and stuff like that. So it depends what the crime is. But no, I have ex-cons. I mean, it could be drug issues. I mean, I had a person that worked for me that actually committed murder at one point when he was 18 years old or something like that. It doesn't bother me. If they served their time, they turned over, they were young, made a mistake. In fact, I find them to be the best employees and the best tenants because they have something to prove and they really want to make something of themselves. So no, Amanda, that's a great question, and that's my answer. So absolutely, I have no problem. I have no problem renting somebody to change their life around. You know. Yeah. Brian and Andrew were never in prison. Well, they might consider working for me being in prison, right? So they might, listen, that might be, hell. They consider working for me might be hell. Listen, I don't deny that I am very, very tough with Brian and Andrew. Because they're family, the one thing you have is in businesses, is family-run business, and you hire outsiders. The outsiders already feel uncomfortable thinking, they're going to get treated differently because they're not family. They're not family. I can honestly say, and Brian and Andrew will testify to this, that I treat them probably worse or tougher or more strict than the other employees because I want them to set an example. I want them to set an example, a work ethic example, and they do. they also work harder than a lot of my other employees too. So it goes both ways. I'm tougher on them, but they also work harder. There's no question in my mind. They put in the hours, the time, the loyalty, and I'm tough on them. Let's see what else we got. We get free time in the yard for good behavior. So that's good. Do I have Section 8 properties? So all of my properties I allow Section 8 tenants to apply for. I don't have any properties that are specifically deemed Section 8 properties or HUD properties, but all of my properties, if a Section 8 person has a voucher, they can apply for an apartment at that property. I don't discriminate against Section 8. So any of my properties, and I have many Section 8 tenants in my properties. So yeah, we're gonna start selling used cars at the new lot that when I move there. Let's see. Brian likes soap on a rope. yeah. He might. Well, especially after that day when he got wiped out by the plow and the snow. He needed soap on a rope that day. That's for sure. But anyway, that's funny. But yeah, you're right. So, hey, this was a good one today. We talked about a lot of different things I didn't expect to talk about. Tyler, let's see, do I prefer what? What's Tyler asking me? Do I prefer? No, so I don't have a preference to Section 8 or not. In other words, to me, a Section 8 tenant is just like any other tenant that applies for an apartment. They have to go through our vetting process. We do run background checks. We do background checks. And we do make the local Section 8 housing enforce their laws, enforce their rules. So I don't prefer Section 8 over regular mainstream tenants. The only difference is where some of the money comes from. But we are very strict. We are very, very strict. Ex-cons are great workers. Ex-cons can be very good workers because they feel like they have something to prove and something to show. And so, yeah, I'm not, again, I will not judge. That's something I will not do. Now, again, it's one of those things where if somebody has a record, you see every couple of years they're having a problem, then obviously I'm not going to hire them or I'm not going to rent to them. But if somebody had a mistake, a moral lapse of judgment 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and it's long gone. Absolutely, I have no problem with that. Who the hell am I? You know what I'm saying? So, we've all, at our, though I don't have a record, we've all, done things wrong here and there, and it is what it is. So, what's the Westerly lady makes money? I don't even know. Did I miss that? The Westerly lady. What's that about? So on the Section 8, so pros and cons in Section 8, right? So, let's see, I'll be calling the office here for you soon, Jeff will pay. Yeah, no, that's fine. Call the office and ask, and even, talk to me, ask for me, they'll leave a message and I'll call you back. Or if you want to, in my profile, I have email. My profile goes right to me. You can email me too, your contact information. I do believe in second chances, I believe in second chances. Have I gotten burned with second chances? A couple of times, yes, but it doesn't keep me from giving second chances. I have gotten burned, but it does not keep me from giving second chances. I will answer it that way. I don't know when their wedding is. Car wash is a good business. There's a good family business, a car wash. It's a great business, a car wash. Very good business. Again, location. But nope, I think that's a great business. Laundromat, location, great business too. What's nice about that business is that, obviously it's something that's not going to really tie you down. It's something you can manage, you can run, Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the lady that stole the $11. What kills me about that, so if everybody knows the story on that, this lady in Westerly applied for rent relief, gave fake information, said she was a tenant of this landlord. This is the story, yes. And by the way, they referenced me. I make money. I know you had texted me that the other day. I didn't tell anyone the story about when I went to the hospital the other night. That's a whole other story. But anyway... Anyway, that's when you texted me, make money. That's why I didn't get back to you. But anyway, So this lady lied on the rent relief application. She put down that she was a tenant of this landlord. She put her address. They literally sent her a check for $11,000. She stole the $11,000. Now, here's what pisses me off, okay? They're saying, oh, they have to report them to the feds. What about the state police? Why can't the Rhode Island State Police? That is obtaining money under false pretenses. That is a crime in Rhode Island. I don't understand why they just don't go to the Rhode Island State Police and say, this person in Westerly, Rhode Island, stole the money under false pretenses. Forget the federal crime. Let the feds go after her too. But locally, she fraudulently filled out the applications. It's obtaining money under false pretenses. I don't understand why the state police do not go after her and set an example. That's it. So that pissed me off when I saw that story because, oh, we'll report it to the feds. Big effing deal. The state police, that's their job. She lied on the application. She fraudulently filled the paperwork. And you know what? Until they start cracking down on these asshole scumbags, people are going to keep doing it. But I don't understand why. If I was a state policeman or whatever, it's like, how would you sit back and just let that go on? Or the police chief or whatever, the state police chief. Why would you sit back and say, this person just did this in the state of Rhode Island, stole this money. Okay, now that Hunsinger, who runs rent relief, who was being interviewed the other day, well, you know, it's few and far between. And few and far between, it's $11,000. For me, it was $12,000 a year ago, you stupid ass. Okay, I don't get it. Why isn't she on the phone with the state police? Hey, I need to press charges. This person filled out fraudulent paperwork and stole $11,000. You know, I did download the Honeywell app. I downloaded it the day you gave it to me, Chicken Bucket. Haven't had a chance well, I looked at it, but haven't had a chance to set it up yet. But it looks pretty cool. That's going to be nice. Yeah, because it notifies you of everything, which is really cool. You own a construction company installing windows and doors and get work from custom-built windows as well. Oh, that's cool. So that way you can, obviously, in between, then custom-built gives you work to fill in. Is that what happens? Keep you guys going? Or fills in your work? Yeah, it doesn't, Amanda, I agree with you. It doesn't make sense why locally the state police cannot find, it happened in Rhode Island. So this Westerly lady fraudulently took the money. It's obtaining money under false pretenses. That is a law in Rhode Island. I know it because that's what I was charged with when that asshole who bought the ice cream shop, you guys, or if you follow me, you know that story. That's what they said. I obtained money under false pretenses. Of course, it was expunged. It went away. It never happened. But yes, that's why I know in Rhode Island there's a law you can't get money under false pretenses. So I don't get it. Now, Tamra from Channel 10, when she did the interview, you know, and again, I don't know if she knows that, you know, that is a law in Rhode Island, because she could have said, why don't you go to the state police and press charge for state police? I would have loved to see what Hunsinger said then. Why don't you go to the state police and press charges and see what she says, you know? So, yeah, that's perfect. Fill in the blank. You know, that's great. That's supplying. See, Amanda, that's a great business model. So even with me, so with Butler Waste, right? So with Butler Waste, we actually do trash pickups for other companies. They subcontract us. Same thing, because it keeps us going where drivers are already on the road. So that's a great business model that you have. Obviously, you do your own installations, but then you do installations for other people too. It's a great business model. Absolutely. You know, and you know, it is a felony. It is a felony. These people who just steal the money, fill out the false paperwork, and steal it. It is a felony, and that's bullshit. And you know, they should go after her and use her as an example. You know. Oh, so the hospital. So the other night, of course, I had my MRI on Monday. Wednesday, I was in so much pain. Wednesday night. I said, you know what? And of course, I still didn't know what the results of the MRI were. I said, you know, I'm going to go to the hospital. So everyone said, go to Rhode Island Hospital. Go to Rhode Island Hospital. They're the best. Go to Rhode Island Hospital. Fine. I usually go to Kent County because it's down the street. It's convenient, you know, and it's a little smaller. So I drove to Rhode Island Hospital. I got there at 1 o'clock in the morning, checked in the emergency room. Had to be 100 people in there. So I sat in the corner, and I waited. And every once in a while, they would come out and they'd yell out somebody's name, and of course, somebody would disappear. And 4:30 came. I wasn't called. I came home. Never got checked. Came home. It's a great hospital. I've had an operation there. It's a great hospital, but I don't think it's a great hospital for me to go to the emergency room at 1 o'clock in the morning. That being said, picture who's in the emergency room at 1 o'clock in the morning. So that was my mistake. Is Hope Valley too far away to buy a property? Well, I don't know. Where do you live? See, for me, it would be far away. For me to, it depends what kind of property, though. I should say, what are you plan on doing with it? Are you going to live there? Is it an investment property? What do you want to do? Because Hope Valley is beautiful. Hope Valley, I used to work at Camp Yago when I was a kid. I was a Boy Scout, so I used to work at Yago, and that was in Hope Valley. So I love Hope Valley. It is beautiful. But what type of a property is it? Yeah, see that? 9 p.m., 8 p.m. the next day, Amanda. See, so I'm not lying. See, the stories I tell, when you back me up, thank you. Frustrating. I should have just gone to, well, as you know, when I was having the chest pains a couple months ago, I went to Kent County Hospital. I know when you have chest pains, they take you right in right away. That's kind of like they put you to that, they put you to that in the back. It's almost like the fast pass, right? If you say you have chest pains, you get the fast pass like at Disney World. So, but still, I was having pain. I was very uncomfortable. I was extremely uncomfortable. Now, while I was out there waiting in the lobby, they did come check my pulse and my blood pressure once around 3 in the morning. I don't know what that was all about, but I was never seen. So I just got up and came home. I was so exhausted at that point, I fell asleep anyway, right? So, hey, how you doing, everyone? Yeah, so now you got piquing my interest because I like old farms. I like eclectic properties. So now you got my interest piqued, okay? So that's so the property that Andrew bought. So I bought that at the auction, and it was an old farm, and Andrew really wanted this piece of property, really wanted it. And he got it. I'm glad he got it. It was a process to get we've done TikToks on this one. It was an old farm in Coventry, and Andrew really wanted it. I bought it at the auction, and he really wanted it, and I'm glad he ended up with it. So get me the information. I'm very curious. And like I said, you guys can go into my bio, and I got the link to my personal emails in the bio. Now you have my interest peaked, because an old farm would be very cool. I always wanted to have a farm or just an old type piece of property like that. So I love eclectic properties. I like mixed properties. You see down in, not that you see, but in Pawtuxet Village, I have the 10-unit, 5 commercial, 5 residential. I like mixed different types of properties. I think it's great. But let's see. So I probably won't go to the emergency room at Rhode Island Hospital anytime soon, that's for sure. And I don't really know what I was looking at. I was thinking maybe to look at the MRI quicker and come up with a solution that night for me. See, that's the problem. See, Rhode Island Hospital doesn't charge you for the fast pass, right? So they need the fast pass. My niece asked for water, and mind you, they already told her she was dehydrated, and they said they had none. Yeah, until they get you behind those doors, they don't really do much for you. I can, Amanda, you're right. I do like haunted houses. So I was talking about that haunted house earlier, Make Money, up on Laurel Hill Avenue. That's an old mansion, an old single-family mansion on that hill that converted to 6 units. But I like houses that look different. I'm going to have to put a picture of that on there. Well, now that I got my new drone, that's what I've been doing, going around taking some video, and I'm going to be doing story times about the different properties, because every property has a story behind it, right? But, the property where the girl wrote on the wall. So that property's already repainted, re-rented. That property's doing well. It's actually in Pawtucket, but that property's doing well. Thanks for asking. That's all been cleaned up. It's actually a very nice property. It's on the Pawtucket Providence line. You go up North Main Street, and that's a nice piece of property. But I do like haunted house looking property. I like it. So the house I bought last week, in West Warwick, that one I want to do the video on. It's an old mansion. You go in the front stairs, beautiful, like I said, grand staircase that goes upstairs back in the day, in the turn of the century, 1900, 1901, whatever it was. That's how they built them. These big, Victorian mansions, or they consider the mansion, right? And but now you go in there and you can see where they closed off all the doors and made it into apartments. So yes, storefronts as well. Yes, that has 2 storefronts, exactly. The one in Pawtucket. So that's what happens. Now, that's a good example. So that's in a neighborhood, that property, and there's 2 storefronts. So one of the storefronts is vacant, and it's been vacant for a while. It's hard to rent it. And I think it's hard to rent it because nobody can think of a good business to put in there. In a neighborhood, for me, in a neighborhood, walking would be an ice cream shop. So if the Hershey store works out well here in the new one that's opening this week, if it works out well, guess what? I'm going to be putting one in Pawtucket. My goal is to not own a bunch of ice cream shops, but to have tenants. If I can go through work because of my experience of opening up an ice cream shop and turn around and turn that into a tenant by just selling them the ice cream shop for the money it cost me to open it. Now I have a tenant. Now it's a win-win for everybody. I have a tenant, and I have somebody now that wanted to be in the business and get into it very inexpensively. So yeah, all my property, most of it is in Rhode Island. Around, you just installed windows in a gutted old home in Providence and got bad vibes. So yeah, where'd you get the bad vibes from? Just in the old home in Providence? Hey, you're absolutely right, makes money. Again, another trade, right? Physical therapy. There's good money in physical therapy, physical therapists, right? It's unbelievable. There are so many. You know what the problem is that a lot of us, I know like with me, okay, do what you like and the money will follow. Do what you like and the money will follow. In my case, it was a fluke. Audiovisual. That's what I enjoyed. I was a disc jockey, turned into a business. And yes, the money followed. Was it a struggle? Yes. But the money followed in the audiovisual. It was a fluke. I did what I liked. My son likes to play video games. All right, Benjamin, play video games your whole life. The money will follow. Bullshit, right? Now, maybe if he invented a video game, right? Different story. But that's why it's important to encourage children that money is extremely important. You have to make money. You may not exactly like what you're doing, but it's not about that. Take the money you make and do what you like to do with it. Have fun with it, like me. The audiovisual business, I really liked it. I started to burn out on it. When I started to burn out on it, I took the money and started buying real estate because that's what I wanted to do. So I took the money from the negative business at that point and started buying real estate with it. Now, meanwhile, the only reason why I really enjoy the audiovisual business again now is because I have other people running it. I'm not dealing with the day-to-day aggravations and stress of it. So that's my suggestion to young people. Tell them, look, get a job, make some real money, then use that money to do what you want with it. But you gotta, if you want to raise a family, you want to be independent, you have to. A lot of the old houses are haunted in Rhode Island, right? So, update on the trip to Iowa. So, it looks like the Jumbotron's going to be done being built at the end of this month. So, we have to get to Iowa to pick them up somehow. So, I can either send 2 trucks there to tow them back, rent 2 trucks there to get them. But yeah, that's what we're working on right now, Makes Money. We're working on how we can get those Jumbotrons from Iowa to here. I guess the problem is they're too tall to put on a low flatbed truck to transport them here. So we have to tow them here. And yeah, Ballard, you cannot be lazy. Nobody can be lazy in this day and age. You cannot be lazy. So I talk about that. I talk about the fact, some parents are, hey, if you can find a rich sugar mama, that's always a good way to go. And no one's going to argue with you on that one, right? But no, you can't be lazy. So here's the problem that I have. I tell people this. I said it earlier tonight. My kids might look at me and say, "Whoa, he works too hard. I'm not working that hard," right? So they don't work hard. Or parents that don't work at all. Oh, my parents don't work, so why should I work? So there has to be some balance. There has to be some happy medium. Make money, you got one what? Oh, no, I know. I mean, I might, listen, I might come down to where I pay some people to drive there and tow the trailers back. It's, that's exactly what I might, end up doing. Making a road trip out of it, Oh, you have yes, yeah, you told me you have a sugar mama. So. The anybody watching Better Call Saul, by the way, or the final season of Ozark. I have 2 episodes left in Ozark. I watched 3 last night, 2 the night before. I can't sleep, so why not, right? Yes, you're right. I don't mind. I was like, always keep busy. So always got to be doing something. Always got to keep busy. And like I said, with young people, I try to introduce them to all different things and let them try to. You don't push them in a direction, but you introduce them to different things and let them choose what they want to do. Yeah, like the TV show. Yeah, okay. So I love Better Call Saul. It's great. I think it's the last season for Better Call Saul. I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't really watch a lot of TV. Better Call Saul, I've been holding my breath waiting for a year and a half. Ozark, we waited a year and a half. They came out with the first 7, then of course Friday they come out with the last 7. And once they're over, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea what I'm going to do with myself once they're all done. Both great TV shows. Better Call Saul is great, and so is in Ozark. Both great TV shows. Oh, well, I was even better taking your kids bowling because now what you can do is you get the best of both worlds. You took your kids bowling, had some family time, and then in your own private time you can watch, Ozark. Oh, what a great program. Jason Bateman is my favorite actor anyway because he's so good. But boy, what a great program that is. Average rent in Rhode Island. That's a good question. I don't know what the average rent in Rhode Island. My average rent, I would say, is around $1,250 a month. My average rent, $1,250 to $1,300. But again, there's some variables, whether heat's included, electricity's included, that type of thing. But I don't know what the state's average is right now. I don't really pay attention. I just try to be below market on my rent so I keep my apartments rented. Need to make a reality show on their life job. I don't know, that might last a day. That reality show might last a day. I don't know. I guess they could follow me around to all the different stuff I do and they'll edit it together and make it exciting, right? But who knows? So the federal tax rate bracket sucks. I had to pay $100,000 in taxes 2 years ago. Of course, I have a really good CPA now who's helping me not have to pay $100,000 in taxes. The problem is, and I'm just learning this, I did a whole story on this one, Mike, and it's very interesting because I'm still just learning. I have a full CPA who does my taxes, but in the office, I just hired a full-time CPA who's teaching me because this is something, look, I've always just run my business, make money, spend money, make money, spend money, make money, spend money, buy property, spend money, never paid attention to taxes, or the tax law or how to save money. And that was an area that I just didn't really pay attention to until 3 years ago when I got audited. And now that's a whole different story, right? So now I have a CPA who does my taxes. And I have a CPA in the office who really is steering me in the right direction to help me not pay as much money in taxes and use the money wisely. I didn't do write-offs the right way. I didn't take advantage of the write-offs. I didn't take advantage of different programs that are out there that could save me money. Now I'm learning, and I can do more TikToks and talk more intelligently on it because I really couldn't talk intelligently on it before because I didn't know. I got audited. What the hell do I know? Obviously, I was doing something wrong. So that's what happened there. But right now, everything's going good. I got, like I said, 2 CPAs doing all my stuff for me. But, the reason I got audited, and I'll just tell a quick story on that for the people that are joining me right now and never knew the story. My business was a small business for years and years and years. In fact, 2008, 2009, I talk about when I almost lost everything. I was, in foreclosure. I came out of foreclosure, paid all my bills into we had the banking crisis back then. So I did, because there wasn't a lot of money around, I did my own taxes. 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I started rebuilding my business and I was still doing my own taxes. My mistake was I didn't realize it. Really didn't realize it. 2016, 17, I was doing major business and had no right doing my taxes. I should have been using a CPA then. But it crept up on me. The audiovisual business was coming back. The real estate was going strong. So it crept up on me. I just wasn't paying attention. So I got audited for 2017. That's when I said, wake up call. I need a CPA. And then, of course, my CPA now told me, Jeff, you need a controller in the office because you have 4 businesses you're running right now. You're out of control. So I needed somebody to tell me that because, again, I'm focused on running the business, right? Growing the business, marketing, advertising. That's where I say to myself, hey, if somebody wants to talk about marketing and advertising, I'll talk to them blue in the face. When it comes to paying taxes, filing taxes, keeping track of expenses, that type of stuff, no, I was terrible at it, and I admit it. But now I'm getting better, and of course, I pay the professionals to do that. Rhode Island power bills have gone up over the last few years. They haven't doubled, but I know they did have a 20% increase last year. But no, right now they've been stagnant. Hopefully they stay that way. So so anyway, the Eddie, how you doing? Yeah, the leg pain is still here. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning, I got my first physical therapy appointment, so hopefully that will help. And I will let people know through TikTok how I'm doing on that one. So, yeah, $1,900 for an apartment, Butler 2024. Yeah, I don't think so. Nobody wants me. Rents are skyrocketing. So rents are going up, obviously because the housing shortage, rents are going up. I try to keep my rents moderate. My rents really in the last 2 years, I have to say, have been pretty much about the same throughout COVID. The only rents I raise are the new properties I buy where the people are just paying like unbelievably low rents where I can't afford the mortgage. I mean, that's how low they are, where I can't even afford to pay the mortgage. I have to raise the rents. I have no choice. And I've talked about that. People say, why do you have to raise the rents? Well, because a lot of the properties I buy, receipts are a big thing, Amanda. Now I keep receipts. I keep receipts. Everyone laughs at the receipts I keep for every single item, absolutely. I talked about this before. So a couple of properties that I buy, I just bought a piece of property 2 months ago where it was bought and paid for 45 years ago. So this old lady, elderly lady, owned the property, never raised the rents, charging $500 a month for rent, literally, for an apartment that's worth $1,300 a month, $1,400. But she didn't care. It was bought and paid for. She was happy just to get the rent. It was a 6-unit. She's happy to get $3,000 a month in rent. The problem is I bought the property for $500,000. I have a mortgage that I have to pay every month, $2,500, right? That she didn't have. So you divide that up among the 6 apartments. That's about $450 an apartment. I had to go up whether I liked it or not, to pay the mortgage. So that's what happens with my increasing the rents. It's usually some of the newer properties I buy that the people were just getting away. Well, the tenants knew they were paying under market rent. Because you know why? Yeah, box truck full. Yeah, so that's why we have boxes and boxes of receipts now. And I learned the hard way, but that's okay. That's okay. I learned the hard way. So, what's interesting though, I raise the rents on the new properties I buy. I raise those low rents, right? Nobody moves out. So they knew they had a deal going on. And not only that, if it's supposed to be $1,250 and I raise it to say $1,100, right? They're still saving $150 a month. But they go and they try to find another apartment out there. There's nothing out there. So they're still getting a bargain with me. No, there's no rent freezes here. No rent freezes here. Anyway. Well, that's exactly right. Oh, and by the way, Amanda, the heat was included. The heat in its Waterview property in Warwick. So that's why it was just ridiculous. So those properties that I buy, I have to raise the rents on because I have to pay my mortgage. I got a mortgage, so I have to. I have no choice. So anyway, all right. So let's see. I'm going to get going. What time is it now? Yeah, I got to get going. There's 3 hours today. Another 3-hour session. I haven't been doing them during the week. I've been doing just the Sundays. And again, I come on here. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Tonight, you guys steered this whole conversation tonight. I really appreciate the way you steered it. I hope I gave you guys good information. What is my vacancy rate? So my vacancy rate really is very, very low. The only time that we have vacant apartments is we're renovating it, we're remodeling it. That's the only time they're vacant, okay? We kind of have a waiting list. People call us, hey, do you have this? We'll say, look, we're painting it. It's going to be ready in 3 weeks, that type of thing. So my vacancy rent is really 0 to maybe, I guess you would say 1 or 2% out of 380 apartments. We might have 4 empty ones, but again, it's because we're remodeling them. We're getting them ready for new tenants. Did you get more security deposit? Yes. So if I raise their rent, good question. If I raise their rent from 500 to 1,000, their security deposit goes up to 1,000. Yes, we bring everything up to where it's supposed to be. So if I want to sell a multi-unit property, I don't tell the tenants to move out. Now, well, first of all, I've never sold a multi-unit property, but if I were to, I would not ask the tenants to leave. But that's a good question. I'll tell you why it's a good question. The question always comes up, if I buy a multi-unit property, I always assume the tenants. I inherit the tenants. Whether they're great tenants or they're bums, I inherit them and then I deal with them. But the question is, should I do that? Or should I tell the seller, I need you to tell the tenants they need to leave. I want the building empty. So that's a question in and of itself. I've never done that. I have always purchased property, inherited the tenants, good or bad, and dealt with it that way. But there are some instances when I look back saying, you know what, I should have asked them just to empty the building out and I'll take it vacant. That way I can clean it, paint it. Well, good example is the 39-unit building. That didn't happen. I got it empty because the previous landlord had that structural issue and they had to vacate the building. But that was a wonderful thing with me getting it vacant. I was able to go through it, clean it, paint it, adjust the rents to more of a reasonable rent, and now I'm getting it rented and it's working out beautiful. So there's a good example of why it's nice to buy an empty building. Thanks for the bank videos. Appreciate it from a property manager. So, yeah, no, it's important. It's important because, again, even get nickel and dime when banks charge the fees for transferring money and counting the cash and this and that. I just share the information, share the experience, and then you folks can take it, for what it's worth, So, anyway, well, Deborah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I love you too for following me and watching me tonight. So anyway, I'm going to get going. But again, I'm going to try to do one this week during the week, especially if I start feeling better. I mean, I used to do them twice a week on Wednesdays and Sundays. And when I started not feeling good, that's when I stopped doing the Wednesdays. But hey, if I'm feeling better, I love doing it. It's fun. And it's funny because I think to myself, what am I going to talk about tonight? What am I going to talk about tonight, right? But again, you folks steer the conversation. You ask me really great questions, and it brings up some experience that I have that I can share with you guys. So I like that. So anyway, I'm going to get going. I did post some TikToks today. Of course, they have the bank TikToks today. I posted today. In one ice cream shop TikTok when somebody asked about remodeling it and spending lots of money on a brand new ice cream shop. Why would you do that? It's kind of crazy. But anyway, so I got some more I'll be doing tomorrow, but thanks again for watching me tonight and following me. So we had 10,500 likes tonight. That's amazing to me. That's a huge number of people that came on and liked us tonight. I say liked us because it's not just me, it's you folks too, because you're asking the good questions, which to me is making this all come together. It's a team.